Boom, 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 boom. There's a thing here. No. There's a way to do the thing. How do you do the thing? Up there. Up there. Gosh dang it. There it is. Gotta update the stream. Alright. Sweet. Alright. So now the stream is updated. So now Alright. Let's see. Alright, we're good. Definitely want to stream this because this just looks cool. Made it to Breckenreach. Hopefully you'll be able to make it to the castle. Yeah, this stuff is cool. Didn't get it right from the beginning, but...
Time to hit the road.
Okay, let's see. We gotta go across this ship bridge. Put it back up here. Right. That should be enough. Heck yeah. Nice. They really outdid themselves with this stuff, man. This looks so cool. I love the pumpkins. Yeah, a lot of the roads have been blocked and stuff, so like they made it kind of like a maze just to it's like it turned into an adventure game, but you're driving a truck. So cool. Al's tank bleeding in here a little bit. Sorry. Turn that down a little bit. Oh, Al. You and your tank, buddy. I guess I should probably put some more water in this tank. But look at this. This looks so neat, man. This is awesome. gotta see this from the outside. Jeez. This is awesome. This looks amazing. Valheim. Nice.
Here we are, safe and sound.
Nope. Sure. Radiant unit. Let's do that. Right. This is awesome. Go around the circle here. This bad boy backed in. Do they mean for me to back down this way? Oh, I think that's what they mean it. Oh, you little stinkers. All right. Let's see what we can do. Meet the challenge, right? This is a tough angle to hold here. Let's see. Keep it tight over there, I think. What do we want to do more of? There, back, straighten, back this way, straighten, back, straighten, back, straighten, the other way, back, cut, and straight, straighten her out, another cut. Straighten it back, give it a swing. Swing. Swing past the fence. And just about straight. Cut it a little bit more. Straighten it back. Cut it a little bit more. Straighten it back. Swing. Oh, look at this. Look at this, boys and girls. Look at this. Woo! Man. Cut. There we go. Straighten it back right out. And there she is. Absolutely beautiful. Hot damn, that was nice. Burb. It might have mellowed it out a little bit. Silly turtle. Alright, well. Leaving Breckenridge with cargo takes you to its destination. Without cargo, you'll be sent to Ramsey. In order to qualify for a Grady Award, you must complete at least your personal goal in Euro Truck Simulator 2 Euro Truck Simulator Airboat. Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. Ah, alright, so, oh, that's neat. Okay. So you just kind of end up somewhere and you come out and... Okay, so you can just take a nice little jaunt. None of them are very long. Okay. Cali? Let's do a Cali run. Some herbs and spices, eh? Hello, go for some herbs and spices. Okay. So our trail is back
Okay,
this
here
way.
we go.
portal. Alright. Cool. Alright. So you can see, because this way was blocked before, so I couldn't even go that way. I had to do this crazy route instead. Some crazy twists and turns. Let's see how it is going back out of here now.
Let's do this.
Heck yeah, lady. Let's do this indeed. Zoom, zing, zoom. Oh. I went the totally wrong way. Oopsies. Oh god, I got back out of here. Jeez, man, what are we doing? It's all this spooky landscape. Ooh, it's so spooky. Jumping. Jeez, I can't believe I fucked myself over this way. Alright, come on, man. Come on, we can get this. Come on. Just really wanted to start driving, and now I got myself stuck in this corner here like a goofball, like an idiot. There we go. Yeah. Don't go down that road again. is the road we want. Jeez, man. Goofy idiot. Heck yeah, we're moving. Oh, can't go that way. Darn wagon. So there is no, there's no way to actually take the road. You're always gonna go down the crazy path. All right, you goofball game. I understand. Silly game. There we go. Your roads out here in Transylvania ain't so well kept. bouncing around like crazy. Let's pull this map back out here a little bit. This might not have been the best turn. Oop, fork in the road. There's no way it's gonna be that easy. Where does this one go? Oh, that. God, it's like impossible to see stuff too around here. Little Blair Witch Project, right? Because you lose the map and you have to just walk around in circles, right? Oh man, the tip of the cap, Truck Simulator, guys. Tip of the cap. You nailed this shit, man. Holy jumping. What am I even aiming for anymore? Where's my destination? Where am I supposed to be going? Okay, there. Jeez, man. I get to here. If this even connects me back to here. Oh, goodness gracious, no. Come on. What am I doing? This is crazy. What are you guys doing to me here? You got me completely upside down. Oh, you little stickers. Yeah, so if I go there, and I should be able to get out that way. So go this way. Where does this road go? Ah. Here I thought getting out would be easier than getting in. My God. I was so mistaken.
Okay, let's find a new route.
Yes, let's. Oh my goodness, lady. Holy jumping. We have just made it.
Finding a new route.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've made it. Oh, jeez. That was brutal. Back to the portal here. Falling autumn
Recomputing.
Recomputing. Oh man, that's awesome. Nice. Ooh, let's see. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun. Do, 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 do. Oh, sorry. I guess I missed a couple chats. Sorry. That was kind of. Hey, Grace. Yeah, things are good. Things are going good. Oops. Well, I guess I'm getting some rest. All right, cool. All right, we're back in daytime, which is good. All right, at least now we can see. God, so much time in the dark there. All right, where are we going? Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. All right. So we got a full tank. We got a full rest. Sweet. Let's giddy up and go. Yeah, left me around. Does this go? Oh, I think it does. Do, 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 do. Ooh, wrong way, eh? That's fine.
Rerouting. Turn right. Turn right.
I'm really liking this new one. This is international. It's got my nice Goal for Glory paint job. Got my nice hockey paint job on it. I really like the interior. It's a nice truck. Gauges are nice and easy to read. Yeah, this is a good one. This is a good truck. I'm really liking this one. Oh, great. Grace was asking, which truck do I drive? Yeah, this one is really good, Grace. I like it. Plus, it's like, I think it's 18 years. Some of the other ones I've driven are like 7.
Go straight on.
So, a little more, what's what I'm looking for?
Get
Torque
ready to turn right.
or something. You know, good stuff. Dun, dun, dun. How's your day going, Grace?
Turn right.
Oops. I haven't gotten the layout. I'm sorry, what do you mean, Grace? What's the layout? I was confused. Just rocking and rolling. Sweet. Excellent. Back on the road. You don't know about the layout? No. Yes, I do not know about the layout. Please inform me. Discord or something. Not right now. Maybe some point in the future. Back to focus on my driving here. I can't split my attention. Sorry, chat room. Splitting attention between driving and looking at the chat, kind of asking me to crash. So I'm gonna focus on my driving. That's what we're here for. Driving and enjoying this really pretty game. Man, what a layout. Only 16 more miles to go till El Centro. Oops. Hello. Back in the cab. Heck yeah, there we go.
Keep right, and then exit right. Exit right. Get ready to turn right. Turn right. Keep right, and then turn right. Turn right. Turn left. Turn left.
Ah, man, he's gunning it. Heck yeah.
Get ready to turn right. Turn right.
Excellent.
Get ready to turn right. Turn right. Get ready to turn left. Turn left. This is where it ends.
Why did she sound so weird just then? I was gonna take an easy drop on this one. This quest. Nice. Another mission accomplished. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, once I go back to... I do. Go right back into Breckenridge. Sweet. That's what we want to do. Get these deliveries accomplished. Hit the quest. That's the goal. Green flag. Oh, what's over there behind me? It looks like a... Oh, I see.
Drive safe.
Oh, parking brake. some tunes on. Oh, map. Map is good too. We gotta get to. Hello? Hello? There we go. Alright, cool.
Ready to roll.
No, there we are. Which one should we listen to? Ooh.
Knowledge fight. Dan and Jordan, I am sweating. KnowledgeFight.com. It's time to pray.
I have great respect for Knowledge Fight.
Knowledge Fight. I'm sick of them posing as if they're the good guys, saying we are the bad guys. Knowledge Fight. Dan and Jordan.
Knowledge Fight.
Red alert, red alert, red alert. I need money.
Mind? I'll find a new route.
Stop it.
Turn right.
Andy in Kansas.
Get ready
It's time to
turn
pray.
left.
Andy in Kansas, you're on the air. Thanks for holding.
Hello, Alex. I'm a first-time caller. I'm a huge fan. I love your work.
Knowledge
Turn
Fight.
left.
KnowledgeFight.com. I love you.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Knowledge Fight. I'm Dan.
I'm Jordan.
We're a couple dudes like to sit around, worship at the altar of Celine, and talk a little bit about Alex Jones.
Oh, indeed we are, Dan.
Jordan.
Dan.
Jordan.
Quick question for you.
What's up?
What's your bright spot today, buddy?
My bright spot, Jordan, is we were talking off air the other day about how I've not felt grabbed by a video game
Yes.
in a bit. Like I enjoyed Assassin's Creed for a bit, but then it became a little bit of like,
Get
it's
ready
a little
to turn left.
drudgery, kind of the same, a lot of stuff.
Totally get it.
I fucked around and tried out this game called The
Turn
Blueprints,
Okay.
and man, it got its hooks. It
Oh,
got
yeah?
its hooks in me, but bad.
What's it do?
I don't even want to explain much because there's a lot of
Okay.
mystery involved in
Gotcha.
a lot of exploration and puzzle.
First person?
Yeah. It's hit me in a way that a game hasn't. Like it scratched a missed type itch.
Okay. All
And,
right.
Like that's a deep itch.
That is a deep
like,
itch.
way down.
Yeah. That'll get its hooks in you.
Yeah, so I really enjoyed it. Yeah,
right,
it's
And
a
then
lot of
turn
fun.
right.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I beat it.
Yeah.
And I still am gonna keep playing it because there's still more stuff to uncover.
Turn
Of course.
right.
And what have you, and that's it's great.
That's fantastic.
I enjoy it.
That's fantastic.
That, what's your bright spot?
My bright spot is actually also video game related.
Okay.
I finished Assassin's Creed.
Congratulations.
Beat it. I put a lot more time into it than you did. And I really kind of took my time going through all the nooks and crannies.
Sure.
And then I did what I do with those types of games. Is like I was like, oh well, okay, I'll beat the main storyline. I know there's more stuff, but right now I feel like now's a good time to beat the main storyline. And then I beat it, and then I'm done. It was amazing how like the ending wasn't
You were
that great.
free.
And then I was
left.
just like, I never
then
need to
turn
open this
left.
again. I'm done. Like, it happened in an instant.
Yeah, I think a lot of games like that,
Turn left.
you end up. It's just like I got to clean up some stuff if I want to.
Yeah.
But once the main quest's over, it's like,
Yeah, I did it.
I'm happy for you.
I'm happy to be done with it.
How, without giving away too much, I guess, how was the end? Satisfying?
It was, I would say that from a storytelling standpoint, it was very lazy and terrible.
Oh.
But it's very satisfying to
Sick
kill
burn.
slave owners.
Sure.
It's hard not to argue with that, right?
Yeah. How much of that unsatisfying end to the story do you think has to do with like choice? Because there are some branchingness.
There are.
There's some branched paths and
None.
stuff.
None.
Okay.
None that you cannot
Keep
influence
left.
what
And then turn
I'm
left.
talking about
How this
specifically.
concludes.
Yeah.
That-
There's a lot of really interesting things that you can influence. I mean, we've
Turn
we've
left.
seen
Yeah.
some differences. There's all that stuff. But yeah, as far as I'm aware, the ending that it is
Lazy
what it is.
storytelling.
Yeah.
Oh
Yep.
no. Oh, well.
What you gonna do?
No,
Assassin's Creed.
Check out Blueprints.
Exactly.
It's good.
That's my next plan.
So, Jordan, today we have an episode to go over.
All right.
And I went a little bit off of what my expectations were on this episode. I called a little bit of a
that
Late
Green Arrow
Audible.
for?
And I have another Tucker episode to go
Oh,
over.
God. Oh, no.
It's Tucker Week.
Oh, no.
Yeah, whatever.
Tucker, Hewitt, Edward.
Yes. T. Hewitt Everett Carlson. Yeah, he sucks.
Yeah.
And I just started listening to some more episodes of his show.
Great.
And I'm like, we got to talk about this.
Well, why not?
So we're going to talk about him hanging out with a Christian nationalist preacher.
Fun.
And we'll get down to that in a minute. But first, let's say hello to some new wonks.
Ooh, that's a great idea.
So first, my pet rats definitely love it when I shout "Rat Alert!" Thank you so much. You're now Policy Wonk.
I'm a policy wonk.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next, if you've been in an accident where the intro to a Wesley Willis song turned out to be the Macarena, you may be entitled to compensation. Thank you so much. You're now Policy Wonk.
I'm a policy wonk.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And I'm a Policy Wonk. You are now Policy Wonk.
I'm a policy wonk.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And we got a Technocrat in the mix, Jordan. So thank you so much to Buttons arrived on my birthday and overshadowed my my partner's Lego gift. Thank you so much. You are now a Technocrat.
I'm a policy wonk.
4 stars. Go home to your mother and tell her you're brilliant.
Someone sodomite sent me a fucking boot. Daddy Shark. Jar Jar Binks has a Caribbean black accent. He's a loser, little kitty baby. I don't want to hate black people. I renounce Jesus Christ.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you very much.
Sneaky ass button arrival.
That's brutal.
Yeah.
That's nobody's fault, but I would still be pissed off if I had gotten somebody a really nice Lego set and then they're like, look at these buttons. Fuck you, man.
Yeah.
It's not your fault, but fuck you.
Yeah, those Legos aren't glow in the dark.
No, they're not. No, but you know what? I went now and I got them for you, and that's why you don't care. Isn't that it? Because I was the one who got them for you.
I spend a lot of time scrolling through Lego sets and staring at them and being like, I don't have anywhere to put that. I'm not gonna get that. I don't. Why? I want to get it. I want to build it, but I can't.
I feel like that's what some people do with yachts. Like they look at yachts that they'll never be able to afford to million. That one's too small.
For me, it's like, oh, there's a Lego set of the Thanos Infinity Gauntlet. It's like, I don't know if I've actually even seen that movie.
I don't think
I don't
you have.
care, but it looks pretty cool, and I'd like to build it. Probably will. So, this guy, Tucker, this fucking guy.
This fucking guy.
Yeah. He, on April Fool's Day, released an episode, like a fucking April Fool.
Right.
Interviewing this guy named Andrew Isker.
Okay.
And he is a Christian nationalist fella.
Sure.
Who has some maybe not great opinions about a fair amount of things.
Well, that'll happen.
And has been in the news a bit recently because he's starting a church in the middle of nowhere.
Okay, now I'm listening.
Starting a community, a church-based community in the middle of nowhere.
I like it.
So Tucker has him on, I guess, to promote this. Here's where we start off.
Okay.
So Andrew, thank you for doing this. So you're so controversial. I love that.
God, I hate
Married man with 6 kids who pays his taxes. You're so controversial. Very controversial would be not paying your credit card bill and putting the banks out of business, convincing other people to do the same.
What are you talking about?
Forcing the U.S. government to pay attention to its own citizens. You're doing none of that. So as far as I'm concerned, you're a non-controversial, law-abiding man. But you are doing one thing that's pretty wild, which is participating in the building of a new town. It sounds almost like a Christian utopian experiment in Tennessee, but I don't really know. Can you tell me what it is and why you're doing it?
Yeah, so it's not quite that.
It's not the
Right.
Oneida community?
Yeah, we're not
Right.
we're not building some kind of Anabaptist community.
Okay, you're not the Shakers.
No.
Exit right.
Cold open. Getting used to that. That's a lot of fun. So I was listening to this and I'm like, this is crazy. As
Get ready to
a
turn
premise, an introduction. I guess if you want to go and start a church in the middle of nowhere,
Turn
you know,
left.
good luck.
That's Utah. That's
Yeah.
why we have Utah, so go for it.
It just seems a little strange that this rises to the level of Tucker Carlson show guest.
I mean,
but-
it really is wild because the first thing I can think of is just being like, all right, we have Joseph Smith, and he's got some really interesting ideas about these tablets he has, and he's moving into the woods.
I don't know why you're so controversial.
Yeah, that seems crazy. You found him in the woods. We're going to move to the woods, and that's it.
Yeah.
I don't know why everybody's mad.
Yeah. People are just all, these leftists.
What they need to do is pay their
Keep
taxes.
right.
Or pay their credit card bills.
Or not.
Yeah. So Tucker, called him Alex.
Yep.
Tucker, he plays this game when he introduces guests sometimes, like this guy, Andrew Isker. But I don't know why this guy is so controversial. What are people even thinking? He's just a guy trying to create a fundamentalist religious separatist community. It's not like he didn't pay his credit card bill or something.
Sure.
It's a fun game that he plays where he takes a criticism that someone he's interviewing has received and then he
straight
acts
on.
incredulous about it before moving on and pretending that that point has been invalidated.
Ready to turn left.
He does this because he knows that if he were to dip into these specific reasons people think Andrew's a bit controversial, it'd be a little harder
Turn
to
left.
defend. Andrew's an open Christian nationalist and is very opposed to things like universal rights and the democratic system. Like most religious extremists, Andrew is fully aware that, given a choice, very few people would actually want to live in the rigid, religiously doctrinaire world that he wants to create. He knows that his side would never be able to get their way through popular support, and I'm certain that he knows this because he said exactly that on an episode of his podcast from 2023.
We don't have political power. That's the thing. I saw, like, after Tuesday, there were all sorts of guys who were like, how many elections have Christian nationalists won? Like, when are they going to win anything? I don't care about Christian nationalism until they actually accomplish something. And it's like, that take is really stupid. And I've seen people say that, and it makes me lose a lot of respect for them and, like, their thinking, because it's like, the goal is not to, like, have this electoral majority and try to use what we want, Christian America, through the ballot box. Right? That's not going to happen. That's foolish. And like, you look at Ohio, right, a red state that overwhelmingly votes to enshrine, baby murder in its constitution this last election, because America's not there. They're not ready for it anymore. They're not ready to have baby murder any more than they're ready to have, like, Sabbath laws, right? And so all these things we have to think about in terms of, like, a conceptual framework, right? What would it look like when we have political power? All right, so you set your eye on the goal, and then you backtrack to, okay, how do we get from where we are today, no political power at all, to that, right? What steps do you have to take? What direction do you go? It's not a question of, oh, here's the blueprint to win elections. Right? That's stupid. It's more so about retraining the mind of Christian Americans to think within this framework, rather than think within, well, we're in this secular liberal society and that's just the way it is, and we'll try to have moral Christian candidates, the GOP, and that'll be big things. Like, reject that whole kind of thinking and no, we want a Christian American one day.
Yeah, so I've listened to a little bit of his show, and I'll say that despite my strong disagreement with Andrew about just about everything, he doesn't really mince words too much, like on the actual show. Like, that's pretty clear.
Yeah.
He's not making any act about how he wants the U.S. to be a Christian theocracy, about how people following other religions is heretical, and how this is kind of an ethnic thing. But he also really doesn't want to talk about that.
Right.
He doesn't want to get into the specifics about the ethnic part.
Odd how that works.
I thought the way that his co-host put it on this same episode of his podcast was pretty cute.
Okay, I agree. I don't think you can get away from the ethnic aspect of things. I'm not an ethnic essentialist where someone has to be of a certain ethnicity to have a full standing in society, so I'm not an essentialist, but I don't think you can get away. I don't think you can separate it completely. I think there are relations, coincidences, and correspondences there that we need to talk about. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I felt like that characterized the vibe that I got off these guys. they're racists and they know it.
Yeah.
They just don't think that being racist is bad, and they've intellectualized their position enough that I suspect they don't identify their position with bigotry and hatred. It's somehow ascended for them.
I mean, what's interesting is that they seem to have weaponized two things. They've weaponized the slippery slope argument. Like, you can't be like, hey, it's a slippery slope to listen to this guy because his explicit goal is to slippery slope us into where he wants us to go, right? So you can't say, like, it's a slippery slope. That's his goal.
Yeah.
Right. And then he, I guess, weaponized there are some good ones argument. Like, I'm not an ethnic essentialist, which is like, see, I'm not a racist. There are people who only like white people. I acknowledge that there's like 5 or 6 good black people, so there you go. I'm not a racist.
It's essential.
They're essentialists.
Yeah. Listening to their show was a strange kind of experience where it's refreshing on the one hand because they don't hide some of their very objectionable political beliefs, but on the other hand, there is still a similarity to a lot of the other tiptoe bullshit that you hear from these kinds of shows. I'm not an ethnic essentialist, but there's an ethnic component to my conception of Christian nationalism that you can't escape. Is a ridiculous statement to make unless you're just doing a half-assed job of trying to cover up the fact that ethnic essentialism is pretty important to you, and you just recognize that most people don't like that.
Yeah.
So I listened to a bit more of their show, and I got a pretty good sense that they don't like Jewish people much.
Oh, yeah?
They used the term, quote, the Jewish question a couple times,
Great.
which was a bad sign. I didn't listen to a ton of their episodes, but I did listen to one where they interview a World War II revisionist guy about how great Charles Lindbergh is. So,
Sure.
So that's cool stuff.
Great.
But it did seem like they weren't in the Stormfront sort of anti-Semitic camp. But I found an article in Mother Jones that helped me get a better picture of where this guy is at. Apparently in 2023 he tweeted, quote, "I don't hate Jews. Their religion is literally blasphemous and anti-Christian. You cannot be a Christian without recognizing this." I don't buy the whole not being motivated by hate thing, but having listened to his show, I'm willing to believe that Andrew believes that about himself. He has a political and social view that's indistinguishable from a neo-Nazi, but he's definitely not one. It's just a coincidence that his religious beliefs line up that way. So, like, I think that's probably the story that's going on internally.
Yeah.
And I think he believes it.
Yeah, that sounds true.
This dude sucks, but as far as I'm concerned, I just have a fundamental difference of opinion that debate and reason aren't going to solve.
Yeah.
On a very simple level, he just doesn't believe that some people are as much of humans as he is, and he deserves more rights than them. He's a Christian nationalist, but it's also not about Christianity.
Yeah.
And I know that because he says it himself.
Uh-oh.
Well, it goes to the question too, CJ, of if all 8 billion people, or 6 of the 8 billion people on planet Earth say Christ is Lord, does that mean they can become Americans? Right?
Well, right.
No.
No. Christian nationalism isn't about Christianity, clearly, because if 3/4 of the world joined together in forming a Christian state, that wouldn't be acceptable to Andrew. This isn't about Christianity, it's about domination, and Christianity is the vehicle that Andrew and his ilk have chosen to enable that domination. He knows that the U.S. wouldn't vote to submit itself to his particular version of cultural dominance, so he's decided to do the thing that so many religious zealots and profiteers have done before him. He's starting a church/planned community in the middle of nowhere, and Tucker Carlson has invited him onto the show to promote it while pretending that he has no idea why anyone would think this guy's controversial. It's bullshit.
I mean, okay. I'm actually pro him forming a community in the middle of nowhere, so long as it also can't contact anybody or affect anybody else in any way.
Well,
I guess if a bunch of racists want to get together and live in a hole, I'm not mad about that.
I did unfortunately learn that the plots of land do have internet connectivity, so
See,
there will
that's
be
what the problem
sick
is.
memes coming out
See,
of there.
that's the problem. They say they want a separatist community, but what they want is a bunch of them together so they can fight people better.
And also water provided by the city and
Yeah.
electricity. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
So the issue that I have and why I decided to do an episode here is that, like, this is kind of wild for someone in Tucker Carlson's ostensible media position, be like whitewashing a dude who's going to start a Christian nationalist church in the middle of nowhere as part of a strategy that is essentially like, well, we can't ever electorally win power.
Of course not.
So we're going to just create these enclaves. But I honestly didn't know if that would have been all that interesting. But there's a secondary dynamic to this that I think is it's important to keep track of. This is not all ideological.
Right.
There's an ideological aspect to this.
Right.
But some of it is also a business thing.
Great.
And so the name of this business comes up that's
Great.
behind all of
Good
this.
stuff. So it's a company
Finding
town.
a new route.
And a religious
No,
town.
really,
Great.
it's-
Good stuff. Good stuff.
You know, it's a company. You know, Ridge Runner is purchasing land and sort of facilitating a lot of things. Like, you're familiar with the Big Sort, where people are leading, you know, blue states to go to red states and things like that. Where it's along those lines where people are leading. Like, I left Minnesota, a very blue state. Everyone's now familiar with our governor in that state, Tim Walz.
Don't hire him to babysit.
No, I would not. He would be the last person.
Yes, I think so.
So it feels like it might be time for these guys to give up on their fears about Tim Walz.
I mean,
It's past the expiration date.
it feels that way.
In that clip, Andrew's beginning to lay out the structure of this plan to form a religious community in rural Tennessee. A company called Ridge Runner bought a 448-acre plot of land, which they intend to develop into plots that they can sell to people wanting to escape from secular society.
Sure.
Ridge Runner has bought up multiple such plots around the Highland Rim area of Kentucky and Tennessee with the goal of creating a bunch of communities that can be used to create a parallel economy and culture to the evil world outside.
Good stuff.
Ridge Runner was founded by a guy named Josh Abatoy, who's a managing director with an anti-woke venture capital firm called New Founding. He helps create their capital fund, which aims to invest in businesses that skew far to the right politically, are Christian, and very importantly, are into cryptocurrencies.
Great. Good stuff.
According to Forbes, billionaire dipshit and past Rogan guest Mark Andreessen signed on as a limited partner and provided them with a nice chunk of change, and it appears that he isn't the only Silicon Valley type who they're working with.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
It's a smart move and a pivot for these type of oligarchs to make, since they never really cared about liberal social values to begin with, and they're bringing about a power structure that will have contempt for the idea of regulation and consumer protections.
Yeah.
It works all to their advantage.
It's always a good idea to have a castle with serfs on it.
Yeah, workers' rights are antithetical to...
Don't even say those words.
Right. So anyway, this Christian nationalist venture capitalist firm with billionaire Silicon Valley backing is behind this Ridge Runner company that's going to sell Christian nationalists plots of land that they can create their own compounds on, presumably aligning with each other and using cryptocurrencies.
I would assume so, yeah.
As their website says, quote, "We welcome and encourage the adoption of Bitcoin and other disruptive technologies that can, at their best, promote economic sovereignty." This is a marriage of Christian fundamentalism and tech bro bullshit. One of their recent projects, the Bend at Cumberland River, which is in Kentucky, it started selling lots at least a year ago, and they currently have 6 sold out of 50.
Okay.
I'm not a real estate guy, but that doesn't sound very good. It sounds like there's a bit of a low organic demand to this. Andrew Isker is a pastor, and he's announced his plan to buy a plot in their Tennessee development to build a church. It's all good stuff, and he and Tucker definitely don't feel the need to talk about how he's not Randy Weaver within 5 minutes of this interview
Good stuff.
starting.
Good stuff.
Definitely not Randy Weaver, buddy.
Great.
Cool. Not Ruby Ridge, it's Ridge Runner.
I feel very strongly about this. For all of the snaky oiliness of what's going on right now, if I was going to talk to somebody who I ideologically despised, who wanted to buy one of these, I would be torn between 2 things. One, you are obviously getting scammed, and I don't like you, so go get scammed. Screw you. I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
right?
you're fucked.
Or 2, I don't care if we disagree on something. This is a scam. They're scamming you.
Yeah.
Maybe you believe in God, and more power to you, but you're getting scammed, right? What do I do here?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't care.
Sure,
really.
I don't care either.
I think that it's interesting to understand and see this happening.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't have any feelings about telling people to not get involved with this very clear scam.
I mean, if you buy one of these, you're getting scammed.
Unless
There's no
you're
other
quite
way.
rich.
Yeah, unless you're quite rich.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
because it's just land. You have to
Right.
build a house on it, so that's
Jesus
on top
Christ.
of whatever you're paying for the land.
Sure.
And then you also, unless you're buying it outright,
Yeah.
you're going to owe a ton of money to the venture capital firm
Yep.
that owns all the land that
And
you're
they're
buying
going to be
it from.
so kind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like you get behind in your payments because you're living in the middle of nowhere and there's no jobs.
Sure.
In theory.
Sure.
Oh, do they foreclose?
Yes, they
on you?
absolutely do.
Yeah,
Yep.
maybe.
Yep. They remove everything and they own it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that there is like a little bit of a I see what you're doing here.
You're
but
stealing souls.
Okay,
Is that what you're
let's
doing?
find a
You're
new
stealing souls.
for God.
For God. My bad.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I mean, it's honestly beyond all that stuff. It's perfect because
Yeah.
you can just like get your friends together and go live in the woods together.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Everybody should do it.
And so it's a platform to be able to draw all of your friends together. It's like, well, we can kind of live anywhere. Why don't we all live in the same kind of place and bring our families, bring our businesses, and build things together? So it's
I bet you'll find out there are reasons.
Drawing people that are spread out all throughout the country and can leave these places that are not great. Living in large cities or suburbs where you're just totally disconnected and you're really isolated, alienated from normal life, and you can have the American small town experience once again.
It's so sad to hear you say that about Minnesota. As a Scandinavian, I always
So
thought
sad.
of it, was told, it's like where all the Swedes are, and it's kind of, lots of saunas and, red-cheeked children, and it's clean and reasonable.
Yeah.
Not the case anymore. Why did you leave there?
For us, it was.
Are you from there?
I'm from there. Yep. Born and raised in Waseca, Minnesota. My children were the sixth generation of our family that lived in that town.
Gosh.
And
In the town?
In that town, yeah. In the town of Waseca.
Are your
A small town
ancestors
of-
buried there?
Yeah, there's 6 generations that are buried there. Even one of my own children that passed. That all their like.
Will you
we
be
lived,
moving them to Tennessee?
a couple blocks away from the cemetery where all of my ancestors were buried.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very heavy to leave
Yes.
a place
Is
like
it?
that.
Yes.
So heavy.
So heavy.
Tucker is going to be seriously focused on this 6 generations of his family living in the town thing.
Not surprised.
Which made me realize that in his interview with Alex that we just covered, he said he didn't want to leave the United States because his ancestors are buried here. I thought that was just kind of an expression, but I think he was being a bit more literal. My family moved around a bunch when I was growing up, so maybe I just can't relate to this.
Me
but I don't
neither.
care where bones are.
I absolutely could not give less of a shit where bones are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This mentality that you and your friends can just up and move to the middle of Tennessee is a little disconnected from most people's reality. For instance, you can't just do that if you rely on a job that isn't something that you can do remotely. You can work from home out there because the government they hate so much has set up electricity and internet access to these plots of land. But if you have to go into a physical workplace, rural Tennessee might be a long commute from where you need to go.
It's rough.
This would be tough for working people to pull off. And that's kind of because the idea, I think, is to move Silicon Valley type people out
course.
into the woods.
Naturally.
And create exactly what you said. Company towns
Yep.
in these little pockets. And people who could just work online and shit. There's no intention of like building a factory or a mine
Right.
or something.
Right.
Finally.
No, I mean,
We are here.
Here's the problem with this, and this is something that I think is distinctly American. Every few years, somebody comes up with this brand new idea to do exactly this again.
Yeah.
It happens all the time.
Yeah.
And at no point in time does everybody go like, "Hey, how's it going?" That nope. It's always we're gonna do it right this time. I've never heard anybody not go like, "Yeah, but we're gonna do it right this time." And like, hey, well, we've got a couple of 100 years that says you're not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's the unfortunate cycle that we, like, especially with tech innovation, we
Ugh.
seem to be trapped in.
Yeah.
It's like we're recreating network television on streaming shit.
Yep.
Like, by just walking around...
we finally figured it out. By standing still, we've gone everywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
And like with rideshare stuff, we're eventually recreating public transit.
Holy shit, how did we not think of this? A bus could carry all these people at once.
Right. And
Yeah.
it just feels really fucking sad.
Yep.
And that's what this feels like to
Feels
me
very
in a lot
sad.
of ways.
Yeah.
But I relate to the desire to go to the woods.
I ask you this question. Has anybody said Tucker's name backwards 3 times to his face? Do you think he disappears? Because I feel like he does. After I heard that
laugh?
Yeah, I was like, maybe that's what we're missing. And nobody expects it because nobody's like, oh, fairies are real. But he is, right? That's how we get rid of him.
Maybe that was part of the demon attack.
That could have been.
Yeah, maybe someone said his name backwards 3 times.
Arthur Conan Doyle saw Tucker Carlson, and that's why Houdini hated him. That's the truth.
So, someone else who's hated.
Yeah.
Tim Walz.
Yeah, but I guess for whatever reason.
He was really behind why Andrew had to leave Minnesota.
Is he?
He made it intolerable.
Brutal.
It was, after the 2022 election where the Democrats took control of the state Senate finally, and Tim Walz could do whatever he wanted to do. He, the first thing he passed was in the wake of the Dobbs decision, full abortion allowance, even up to birth. Like there were the stories during the election about even like post-birth abortions that took place in Minnesota. Yes. I went to the state capitol and spoke to the first committee when that bill was being heard, and maybe later your guys can pull up that video, but I just went there and said, like, hey, you think you won an election, you think you can do this and just murder children, but God is not mocked. Like he's going to come with vengeance about what you're doing.
Do you mean Tiny Dick God?
Consequences.
Yeah, they're like all these 60-year-old liberal ladies, senators, are looking at me, scoffing at me, and just staring daggers at me and hating what I'm saying. How dare he come? This
Lots of
Christian nationalist.
lots of luck to them.
Good luck. So this isn't true. For one thing, it's completely false that Tim Walz made it legal to kill babies after they're born in Minnesota.
It would be very strange for him to do.
2022.
Yeah.
However, I do have to give Andrew credit, and there is some truth to what he's saying, and that is that the first bill the Minnesota State Senate passed in their 2023 session was SF1, the Protect Reproductive Options Act. This bill just states that Minnesotans have a fundamental right to use or refuse reproductive health care, and that lower government bodies were prohibited from making any more restrictive rules than what the state had set forth.
Sure.
Andrew is fucking lying about this, and as I recall, that's a sin. So he should probably pray about it.
I feel like you're mocking God, buddy.
Oh, no, I'm mocking him.
No, he is, he's God's representative, so to mock him is to mock God. This is like somebody saying that maybe these plots of land are a scam. How dare you? How dare you? Get thee behind me and buy a plot of land over there.
Right.
Yeah.
I did actually look at some of the land.
Yeah? At the end of the day, we're both like, well, I mean, yeah, but the taxes are so low. You can't not live there.
Honestly, there was a small part of me that's like, all right, y'all want this? I'll come. Like, I want to live in the woods. I'll come be a pain in the ass to you. You literally cannot refuse to accept because I'm not a Christian.
It's against the law. It's against the law. It is against the law.
But I was like, that's not worth the fucking headache. Set up a big Cthulhu statue in the middle of their
Why
Christian
are
town.
you, Dan Friesen, why are you doing this? Because I'm kind of an asshole.
Yeah, I was bored.
I was bored.
So I was doing this podcast, and I did a stray episode.
Shit got out of hand. That's what's happening here. This is what happens when things get out of hand. Yeah.
So that was the first bill.
Yes.
And then there was a second bill that was like, I really, really got to get out of here.
Amazing.
And this is nuts.
The second bill that they passed, and these are the first 2 legislative priorities that they had. The second one was a trans rights bill, which allowed the state to take your child out of their custody, or parent's custody.
Sounds true.
If you oppose,
probably shouldn't ask any more questions.
And my oldest child is 12.
A minor child.
Minor child, yeah. My oldest son, he's 12 years old. He has autism. We homeschool all the rest of our children, but we don't have the resources to be able to educate him with his autism. And so he goes to
Who helps
special
you?
ed. And I'm well aware, especially if you see the things that happened in 2020, 2021, all of the activism, trans stuff in the schools, right? All the libs of TikTok kind of stuff.
Yes.
That the majority of like trans children are on the autism spectrum, right? These children are targeted, right? And I'm thinking, okay, he doesn't talk about school. He doesn't talk about home at school. He categorizes all of his life. He just won't do it. So I would have no way of knowing like what is going on there. They could be putting him in a dress and calling him a girl name, and I would have no idea. And then when I find out and I oppose it, right, boom, CPS comes, takes him out of our custody, and he's gone.
There you go.
And they can.
So that's when you go Randy Weaver at that point.
Oh, at that point, yeah.
For sure. And you don't want to go Randy Weaver.
No.
Like, it didn't end well for Randy Weaver.
No.
So just
It didn't end
don't.
well for anybody.
No,
Take it off the table.
Yeah, I don't want to go down that road.
Don't make the road exist.
And so it's like we need to get out of here.
There's no
We
road.
cannot trust the whole system.
Yeah, so I have pulled up the Senate's files from that session where there was the reproductive health care bill. That was the first bill that got passed.
Yeah.
And the second bill they passed was SF2, which made allocations.
How do you know it was the second bill they passed?
The number 2.
Oh,
Dead
interesting.
giveaway.
All right.
And the date, timestamps, and everything.
All right, okay. I'm just checking. I gotta ask these questions.
The
to follow up.
administrative record.
Yeah, okay.
This was a bill that made allocations for the paid family and medical leave insurance program. So I guess he's sinning again by lying.
Well, I mean, 2 is a very subjective number.
Sure.
Yeah.
So there were a number of other bills like child tax credits, price gouging prohibitions, and down payment assistance funds for first-generation home buyers. But if you keep going down, SF23 addresses prohibiting conversion therapy with children and vulnerable adults. Conversion therapy is cruel, and I feel like it's on par with psychological torture, so prohibiting it is a good idea by my count. However, this bill doesn't even prohibit conversion therapy.
Great.
All it does is prohibit licensed medical practitioners and mental health professionals from engaging in it, and it prohibits payment for conversion therapy to be covered by medical assistance programs.
Okay.
It's not illegal to subject your kids to this kind of treatment, but Minnesota regulates medical licensing, and the state senate is of the opinion that it's not professionally appropriate for doctors to do that shit. For the sake of completeness, the bill also prohibits people from advertising conversion therapy services that, quote, use or employ any fraud, false pretense, false promise, false guarantee, misrepresentation, false or misleading statements, or deceptive practice by advertising or otherwise offering conversion therapy services that could be reasonably interpreted or inferred as representing homosexuality as a mental disease, disorder, or illness, or guarantee to change an individual's sexual orientation or gender identity.
Sure.
This one's really about consumer protections, and it was amending language in a completely separate part of the Minnesota State Code that had to do with fraud in advertising.
Yeah.
Nothing about this even comes close to involving child protective services. But the way Andrew was telling this story is fascinating. He's terrified of something that he's made up in his head, the possibility that his fears could be true, and it's giving him so much pain that he needs to flee from society in order to alleviate that fear. He has no reason to think anyone at his school is trying to influence his kid at all.
Nope.
He has no reason to think that. Nothing has happened. It is all in his head.
Yep.
This also just doesn't make sense. Like, he has a bunch of kids, and he can afford to homeschool all but one of them, so that one has to go to public school? How does it become more affordable to homeschool this kid when you pack up your family and take out a mortgage on a plot of land and set out to build a church? Moving to Tennessee doesn't sound like a solution to any of the problems that Andrew pretends to be struggling with.
Well, if I understand correctly, I believe his point is that because the child has autism, he does not have the resources to educate a child with autism. So,
but he will in the woods.
He takes advantage of the publicly available. He probably shouldn't be okay with that at all.
Well,
right?
he clearly isn't.
Yeah. Seems
He's not at peace with this.
I mean, it is like He has. It's not like he's made it up by himself. You know, like these.
No, the libs of TikTok
Yeah.
stuff
Which
clearly
is-
plays an influence.
Even the way you describe that too, of like, oh, this stuff could happen. You know, the libs of TikTok stuff. Like you're describing a thing that you could go to.
Yeah.
And talk to the people and listen to the people.
Yeah, you're describing falling into a hysteria.
Right. But through the lens of somebody who is absolutely nowhere near this place. Like you live there.
Yep.
Just go talk to them and be like, hey, are you going to do this? No? Cool.
You live in a fairly small town.
How about this? Ask them to write out if I put your kid in a dress, then I won't take them away from you, and then sign it.
There's 400 kids that go to the school in his town. Like, it's not a big school.
Insane.
Yeah.
This is insane behavior.
So I'm not a psychologist, but it feels like Andrew's kid going to public school represents a loss of control that he feels over his child, and that feeling was entirely intolerable for him. His mind was just a swirling mass of dumb shit he saw on social media that he was supposed to be afraid of, and a lot of that has been about demonizing trans people for the last few years. That's been a huge piece of right-wing media.
Yep.
Libs of TikTok shit. It kind of feels like Andrew felt that strain of impending individuation that his kid was going to experience out in the real world, and he couldn't handle it. And what better way to swing the pendulum back the other direction really hard than by taking your family out to the woods to start a Christian nationalist compound that's totally not Randy Weaver-like. Although it is called Ridge Runner, Ruby Ridge.
Sure.
A little close.
And we've referenced Randy Weaver as being an option.
You don't want to go that. You don't want to go.
Nobody wants that option. So we're not going to take it off the table.
Yeah.
That would be crazy.
Yeah.
We always need to be able to go Weaver.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just something that is inevitable at a certain point. Like,
But then just go full
like
Weaver
Death Wish.
now. Yeah, just go do it.
So, I think that his reasoning for leaving doesn't make sense.
Nope.
Tim Walz did not make baby killing legal.
Probably not.
And that bill that has to do with state funding and licensing of people who engage in conversion therapy has nothing to do with CPS coming and taking his kids away.
Yeah.
So that's all kind of dumb.
I mean, the irony of that is that the law that they wrote is explicitly about not being able to kidnap your children and torture them into saying the things you want to hear. And that is what he interprets as them wanting to kidnap his children.
Well, it all makes sense.
Makes perfect sense to me.
And like he's just, he's just afraid that they're going to come and snatch his kid.
Of course.
They could steal him from us, right? This could happen. I don't want to be the
as opposed to
test
kidnapping
case
him because
for
we
that.
paid
I don't want
somebody
to go through the legal battles and do all those fights. I want my son. I don't want to live in a place where that's even conceivable that could happen to you. It's insane. And so it was at that moment I'm like, we need to get out of this state. It's not a place where I can raise my children. And I'm thinking like long term, right? We've been in this place for 6 generations, and it's a wonderful town. You know, amazing place. I mean, it's home. I love the people there, and many of them are going to be watching this. And
well, you must know all of them.
From my youth.
Small town, 6
the
generations.
store and you see
a lot of the same
my
last
wife,
name.
And children hated when I would go to the store because it would take an hour to get a thing of milk because I'd just stop and talk to people I've known my whole life.
Oh, I love that.
And it's a wonderful place. Like it's hard to leave that, right? Because it's you know it. You're familiar with everything and all the people and just the way of life.
Oh, I love that. So which is it? Are the teachers at your kid's school secretly trying to turn him trans, or do you know everyone in your town and they're all so wonderful?
Right.
It seems like it's not possible for both of these things to be true.
It would be very difficult for that to be true.
Andrew said that he's from Waseca, which is a town of about 9,200 people with one elementary school that has about 400 students at it. This can't be a wonderful town that he's so sad to leave and he stops and talks to everybody, but also one where the schools are indoctrinating all the kids.
Yeah.
It's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
This isn't The Faculty.
No,
That
that's
movie
not how it works.
starring Usher.
I thought Elijah Wood was in
Okay.
that one.
He might be.
Let's
I think
find
it
a
was
new route.
Devin Sawa, maybe. Might have been around that time.
I think that's a HeartNet
Never
vehicle.
mind. I'll find
Josh
a new route.
Jackson, maybe.
Josh Jackson.
We got a lot of names.
All right.
I'm only sure of Usher. Understood correctly, what Andrew is saying is that Waseca was a wonderful town, and the people there were really nice. His family had lived there for 6 generations, but when he sent his kid to public school, he got so freaked out that he had to start a church in the woods. What I'm saying is that based on his telling of the story, I don't think a lot of this has anything to do with his son. This is all about Andrew.
Yeah.
And now, because it's fun, I looked up the lunch menu at that school in Waseca.
Fine.
And I wanted to get your order.
Do you mean the lunch menu that turns you gay?
It might.
Yeah.
So I actually have to get your order.
Okay.
There's some options.
There are not options.
There are.
What? When did this happen?
I don't know. I assume some of it has to do with like maybe dietary restrictions or something.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
That's fair. I didn't have that growing up.
There's no school today. School's
Okay,
out.
so I can't have anything today.
Yeah, but last Thursday you could get chicken strips.
Okay.
Or hot dog on a bun.
Ooh.
Which way are you going?
School-wise, you always go with the chicken strips. You can't trust a hot dog on a bun from a school.
Yeah, I think I'm with you.
Yeah.
And I think I would want 2 hot dogs if I'm going to have a hot dog as an entree.
I'm on your team there.
Yeah.
One hot dog is not enough.
Not enough. Yeah.
We're from Chicago, though.
What if you get fucked over, though, and you only get like 2 chicken strips? That's not enough either.
Yeah, but 2 chicken strips is something you can handle.
Yeah.
1 hot dog makes you thirst for another hot dog.
They also have sides and stuff, so
Okay.
but the sides are all pretty uniform.
All right,
This
all
is
right.
just the main is really what you get a choice over.
I gotcha.
So on Friday, the choices were cheese quesadilla or sloppy Joe.
Ooh. You know what? There is a nostalgic part of me that says Sloppy Joe. But then there's the part of me that has a clear-eyed memory
Get
that
ready
says
to turn
avoid
left.
the Sloppy Joe at all costs.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go with the cheese quesadilla.
Okay, I'm going to go sloppy Joe. 'cause-
You're going to go Sloppy Joe?
Yeah.
You're going to make a mistake.
Yep. Well, it's I feel like when you have a chance to do a Hail Mary, you do
Turn
it.
left.
And if you the legend lives on if you catch it.
If you catch fire,
Yeah.
you catch fire.
Yeah. So these are all like kind of normal and they make sense.
Yeah.
But then this Tuesday, just a couple days ago, the options
Okay.
crazy.
All right.
Shrimp poppers
What?
or quote unquote yogurt basket. I don't even know what that is.
I am confused as to why not even just name it mystery box, right? Like, I guess yogurt basket is slightly more descriptive, but ultimately, I think it's the same.
I think if you just said yogurts, it would make sense.
That would make sense.
Basket,
What does the basket have to do with it?
It introduces questions.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But you're going to take that or shrimp poppers?
I mean, I don't know. Yogurt by itself is already like practically expired, so you can't go super bad with yogurt, right? Or is that how it works? I have no idea.
It's not.
Okay. Well, then I guess I'll go with yogurt anyways.
I'm going to go with yogurt too.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be an unsatisfying meal, but there's no fucking way I'm trusting shrimp poppers from an elementary
that's
school.
unreasonable. Yeah.
I'm not taking seafood.
Unrealistic.
From a
I mean, I
school.
guess if you're Minnesota, no Midwest seafood at school.
There's no shrimp that you're ice fishing.
Yeah,
out of
absolutely,
the lakes.
absolutely. There are no shrimps.
Yeah.
Ah,
So anyway, that was fun. Back to these dumb assholes.
great.
Why do you think so? The three. I mean, I have my own theories, but you've lived it much more personally than I have. So you tell me, why do you think states like Minnesota, Oregon, Washington, California have gone to a place that I think by any objective global standard, there's no country in the world that would nod and say that's okay, except maybe the UK.
Yeah.
How did they get there?
Keep left.
I think, for all of them, political power was captured by the left, political and cultural power. I went to college in Minnesota in the early 2000s, and you could see the seeds of all of these things, right, beginning to form. And so all of the institutions were captured, and especially culturally in Minnesota, people are very nice, right? It's not a myth.
That's right.
Minnesota nice is very real, and right, the ethos is if you don't have anything nice to say, right, don't say anything at all, which I just swim completely against that tide.
But it's true. I mean, not to point to genetics, but it's real. It's
Yeah.
Germans, it's Scandinavians, Norwegians,
Good stuff.
Swedes,
Good stuff.
Finns.
Good start.
It's like these are gentle, non-confrontational people.
You gentle. Hey.
Yeah, they're very kind, very people that are to a fault unwilling to give offense.
Yes.
And very, very tolerant of other people.
Yes.
And have stolen half the land on the earth.
Right, so you can
So
have...
they take our best qualities and subvert them against us.
Yes.
Stole the land on the earth.
So it's pretty hard to be more explicit than that. All of these Nordic groups that Tucker considers white are gentle, inherently decent people who just have that decency used against them.
Stole half the land on the earth.
This is a very old white supremacist talking point. There's literally zero chance that Tucker doesn't understand exactly what he's doing.
Cannot.
What he's slippery sloping whatever audience he has to the much faster slippery slope that Andrew represents.
Ethnic essentialism, if you will.
Yeah, maybe. But hey, we don't want to talk about that.
That's not important. That's slippery slope number 4.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
We're explicitly at regular slippery right now.
Right, and then we'll get down to Sabbath laws.
Ooh, Sabbath laws is gonna be a real bitch. If you're starting up here at the top of the slope, you're really gonna be pissed off.
Scandinavians are cool.
That
quick ride.
It takes you all the way down to I can't wear what ever.
Crazy. So yeah, man. White people are just too cool.
I've often thought that.
Yeah. Tolerant, some might say, to the level of defenselessness.
You know what? Here's what I'll say. I'll say, too cool to have. Period. Let's get him out of here. Get out of here!
So Tucker talks here a little bit about the defenselessness of tolerance.
No, it does. I mean, I come from a family like that, with some of them have strong views, but they would never impose their views on you under any
Go
circumstances.
straight on.
It's just not in them. It's a very specific Northern European culture where they just don't want to get in your face.
No, never.
But it leaves them defenseless a little bit, I think.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, maybe I'm unique. You know, maybe my personality type is such that I can't do that. I can't see like evil stuff happening, taking place, and not say something about it. Not say this is insane. Like how could we? I mean, just think 100 years ago. And that's sort of, you know, my book is, right, if you go back 100 years and you think about your great-great-grandfather and you told him, hey, they're going to take little kids and little boys and remove their genitals and turn them into girls, right? Are you okay with that? Do you think that's all right? Like, what would they do if that was even proposed? Like,
I thought eunuchs went out with the Ming Dynasty.
Yeah, that's right.
I can't believe we have that.
Yeah, we're bringing that back. Like they would go insane. They would fight. They'd become violent if that were happening. And we're like, well, you know, I really want to keep my job, so I'll put the pronouns in my email signature and on my LinkedIn. You know, I'll just go.
Did you hear that at the end there, Tucker saying, I have contempt for them?
Yep.
Dark.
Yep.
So I get the point that Andrew's trying to make about culture shock, but this whole go back 100 years thing is fucking hacky. Go back to 1925 and explain your love of Elon Musk without referencing space rockets, electric cars, memes, ketamine, or social media. See how well you can explain all that dumb shit.
Yeah.
So a fun exercise might be to go back to
route.
1925 and see if your definition of white bears any resemblance to your great-grandfather's. They might have different answers about which groups are included.
No.
Ironically, Tucker brought up the Finns, and this dude is from Minnesota, so it's worth mentioning the 1907 Finnish immigrant labor strike on the Oliver Iron Mine Company. About 16,000 workers struck when demands for better working conditions in the mines were ignored, and that went on for about 2 months before strikebreakers were brought in order to squash shit.
Sure.
This was one of the early instances of a large-scale organized strike, and it shook the bosses a bit in terms of like anti-Finn sentiment that began to be disseminated out into the public.
Smart.
Motivated largely from resentment over their involvement in union organizing.
Right.
From a Minnesota Public Radio article, quote, after the 1907 strike, they tried to make the Finns be seen as Asians. There was an Asian Exclusion Act, and if the Finns could be seen as Asians, they could get kicked out of the country. The next year, a group of Finnish immigrants were attempting to become naturalized citizens, which was something that was only available to white immigrants.
Sure.
It was argued that the Finns were Mongolians, so they didn't apply.
I like that.
But a judge ended up deciding that they were white enough.
I like a judge being able to decide that. Yeah. That's all of that is A+ stuff.
Yeah. That didn't sway the public, though, and people from Finland were still routinely called China Swedes in Minnesota after this. Which is a real thing.
I'm sorry, but sometimes Sometimes, listen, all racism fundamentally is ridiculous. It's nonsensical and it's childish behavior. But sometimes whenever they get too far childish where you're like, come on, you gotta know that China Swedes doesn't make any goddamn sense.
It makes enough sense.
Come on!
It makes enough sense for, demonizing and mobilizing the population against these people who are involved in trying to get workers' rights.
You know, it's so strange how regularly you can go back and you can look at rich people who are suddenly fomenting racial violence.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
It's weird.
It's crazy.
So yeah, maybe your great-grandfather might think that trans people are weird, but he might also be really confused by
Go
Tucker
straight
talking
on.
so highly of these dirty Finns. Time is tricky that way.
Time is a bitch. Don't go back.
Yeah, I don't think that you're making any kind of real valid point with, hey, the things of today would confuse the people of the past.
Precisely, yeah, nobody should go back. Nobody. Even if you think you're going back to meet your progressive hero, don't. Don't go back. There's shit that you don't know.
At best, it's going to be confusing.
Yeah.
So, Tucker talks a little bit about how maybe all these people who have different opinions than him are into the devil.
That sounds true.
So, my theory is that those are the most secular states.
Yeah.
And Maine is another one of the most secular states, unfortunately. And those trends
you should
are
move.
rising there as well.
To Tennessee.
And there's something about there are lots of left-wing ideas or liberal ideas, or socialist ideas that, like, well, I don't disagree with all of them, honestly, but some of them a lot of them I don't really disagree with.
Yeah.
But the transgender thing, the abortion thing, human sacrifice, and turning your children to eunuchs, those are so clearly expressions of cultish religion, of pagan religion, that, like, I can't turn away. I'm like, the Canaanites did this.
Yeah.
Like, I know what's going on here. This is not, you claim you're secular, you're not secular at all. These are religious rituals.
Yes,
That's the way it feels to me.
Yes. Absolutely.
So on one level, this is stupid. But
Sure.
on a deeper level, it's very stupid.
Yeah.
And it's also partially an act.
Yeah.
Tucker knows that no one supports access to reproductive health care because they love sacrificing babies. He knows that access to birth control and abortion have granted women a giant level of autonomy in their own lives. And he understands that people who advocate for reproductive health care support that end goal. He strongly opposes that end goal, and it's easier to pretend that he's fighting against child sacrificers than it is to argue against women being able to choose if they want to carry through a pregnancy at the expense of their education, career, all sorts of other variables.
Sure.
Similarly, he knows that no one is trying to turn your kids trans or gay. He's against people creating and accepting safe places for LGBTQ youth because he believes that if they're deprived of any validation, they'll be cis and hetero eventually, like God intended them to be. These are two particular hot-button issues for him right now, and this is where the act part of this comes in. He's pretending like these two issues are the biggest concerns and obsessions of the leftists, like it's a part of a demonic religion, but what he's failing to take into consideration is his own part in this. The right-wing media has chosen these two issues as huge rallying points for their politics, so they're attacking LGBTQ rights and access to reproductive health care super aggressively as a cornerstone of their ideology. Their attacks are what is prompting people to stand up for these issues, and Tucker understands that dynamic fully well. He's just pretending not to.
Yeah.
Tucker and his ilk can play this
Keep
game
right,
about almost
and then
anything, and it's
exit
super easy. They can advocate for the rounding up and removal of immigrants who are here legally, and then when people are upset about it, he gets to pretend that these people are so
Exit
weird.
right.
Isn't it suspicious how much they want to keep immigrants here? They must be up to something. It's probably because that they're secretly using them to win votes illegally. But
There's truly only one way to defeat this demonic, cultish behavior.
Turn
And
right.
that is to move to a religious work camp in the middle of nowhere, Tennessee. I think that's the only way to
a
combat.
Silicon Valley aligned
Yeah.
capital
Absolutely.
venture fund.
Because you don't want,
owned.
because you hate cultish behavior.
Yes.
Because you don't want any kind of cultish bullshit
ready to turn
messing
right.
up your totally normal, sane, rational choices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turn
It's the
left.
only answer.
It's obvious to me.
So you get to talking about atheists.
Sure, those dum-dums
Yeah.
with their, I don't know what else. What else are they also guilty of
Get
in
ready
their
to
world?
turn right.
They might
Turn
not
right.
exist.
Okay.
And Tucker,
I like that.
Tucker does say at one point, like, "Have you ever even met one?"
I love it. Great. Good stuff.
But they're talking about like the pillars
ready
of the
to turn
atheist
left.
communities, like a Christopher Hitchens.
I'm sorry, they've never met one, but also they know the pillars of the community
In
are?
the past,
Okay.
there used to be
Turn
atheists.
left.
Not anymore.
Okay.
Because the demons and stuff.
Okay.
you know,
No, you're right. You're right. You're right. You're right.
Like today, like James Lindsay is one
all
of
over
those
now.
types.
James, who's James Lindsay?
He is a this atheist guy that opposed wokeness and things like that, but wants just a free liberal society like it's 1995. Yeah.
I'm all for a free liberal society. It's just that there isn't one. Either you're moving quickly toward. I mean, I will never give up my views of. I will never stop being liberal on the most basic level, which is I actually don't want to control you or your beliefs because I don't think you're a slave. I think you're a human being because God made you.
Absolutely.
That's my view.
Unless you're
And
gay.
so I don't want to break down people's doors to make sure they're adhering to it.
Unless you're gay.
At all. I hate that. However, you're either moving toward order or you're moving toward chaos. You're moving toward, a society rooted in some sort of transcendent belief, or you're moving toward trannyism, which is another
Wild.
transcendent belief. It's like you pick a religion.
Yeah, it's not whether but which. There will be one, and that's part of it. Is like
I don't know if people can hear themselves sometimes. Like, I'm not convinced by Tucker's non-committal interest in liberalism that I think he very much would like to break down your door and tell you how to live. I mean, not everybody's door, but if you're doing something that he thinks is evil, he's got to do something, or else society is going to be destroyed.
Obviously.
He should have every reason to know that the person he's talking to is not a big fan of ideas like freedom or liberalism, so he doesn't need to do this wishy-washy bullshit.
No.
But I do think it's fun that he has to qualify every fucking statement that is like, I believe that everybody should be able to live however they want.
However,
I mean,
I do
you're going
love
backwards or forwards, baby.
I do love a complete negation of any ideology whatsoever. Like, hey, listen, I believe that people should be allowed to do what they're doing, but you're either moving towards order or away from order. So on that concept, I'm going to get rid of all non-white people. Sorry. I don't want to tell anybody how to live, but you're moving towards order or away from order, and having all of those other people is away from order. So there's nothing I can do.
Yeah. I believe that everybody should have the right to live exactly how they want to live. People have self-determinism, and they have a fundamental right as humans in order to choose.
I agree.
Their lifestyle, and also I think that religious doctrine that I subscribe to should guide all public
You specifically?
policy. Yeah.
Oh. But what if I don't?
Good luck.
I feel like you just negated the first part of your statement.
Oh, did I? I don't know.
What you gonna do?
Yeah.
Squam.
Yep. How about an ad for some Zin or whatever the fuck tobacco pouches?
Isn't that a good time to smoke some? Yeah.
So this atheism that happened, it had the unfortunate effect of ushering in demons.
That'll happen.
Because Christianity went on a little bit of a decline, and that left us open to demons.
Is that how that works?
I think so.
Oh.
The new atheism, all of those things, they broke down Christian mores and Christian, just cultural Christianity that was imbued all throughout the American public life.
Yeah.
Takes all of that down, but then there's a vacuum, and that vacuum gets filled up. And what's it been filled up with? Insane stuff like this, child sacrifice.
Yeah.
All of it.
Sounds true.
Like it is a new religion. It isn't a question of like, well, we're just going to have pluralism. We're not going to have any dominant religion.
Yeah.
No, there will be one. There will be a God that you serve, and the one that we are serving now is some kind of demon.
Well, I think that so much better put than I could have. Formulated that. But yes, exactly, perfectly put. Exactly. You're going to worship something.
Yeah.
And now we're worshiping something really, really dark as a society. But it's particularly pronounced in the states that have abandoned Christianity the most aggressively.
Absolutely.
And just come up with this new pagan religion. So
it all makes sense, really.
Let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
In this conception of religion and celestiality, if you will, are we doing Highlander? Is that what's going on here?
How?
Well, I mean, there can be only one. Do we have gods fighting each other? Or are we always in a religious battle for dominance? Is the Bible and Christianity, which, yeah, all the things it says, but who cares? Is it about winning?
See, here's how I kind of look at it. I'm making up this metaphor as I go along, so forgive me if this
I couldn't put it better than that.
Okay. I think that the way you look at it is like parents of teenagers.
Okay.
So the parents are God.
All right.
They own the house.
Sure.
They are going to get their way.
Under my house, under my rules.
Right.
Yeah.
But if the parents are away, like Christianity is on the decline,
sure,
those kids might have a party in the house.
That makes perfect sense.
That's the demons coming in.
That makes perfect sense.
Right? The demons taking control of the house.
Right.
Now, they might run amok and destroy a bunch of shit in the house.
Sure.
But the parents still own the house.
Right.
And it's just a question of, like, how much are they going to mess up?
Right.
Like, how much destruction are these demons going to cause? They're not other gods.
Right.
Or anything.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I understand when metaphors go one way to explain something. What I don't understand is when metaphors go the opposite direction, you know? Where you're like, no, you've made up a whole religion out of the metaphor and not the thing that you're trying to explain. You know what I'm saying?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah. That's no good.
Nah, it's not.
Backwards thinking.
Yeah. Also, demons aren't real.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
I'm wondering now, because people have been very unhappy with me whenever I said the book is very important. But
well, actually, that's
my question here. Where is this coming from?
Well, but when you're talking about people getting mad at you about saying that the book is important, you're talking about people who believe themselves to be Christians,
right,
and don't believe certain things that are in the book,
right,
in the Bible,
right.
And one of the reasons that this guy stuck out to me as kind of interesting is because he has the same perspective as you.
Yes, except for he puts things in the Bible that are not there. Which I find interesting.
Well, I think some of that could be a matter of interpretation of what he thinks some things in the Bible mean, which is a form of putting things into it.
Yeah. I'm interested in what was it, the letter to the Thessalonians, where it was like, hey, man, if you aren't constantly on this, demons are wrecking your shit. And if there's an atheism rise, clearly that means that there's a commensurate demon rise along with it. Everybody knows that.
That's like, that relates to Alex's idea of like the hedge of protection is kept up by prayer warriors or whatever the fuck.
Right.
So but he talks about that in this next clip, where how he is just going from the book.
Sounds true.
And so I felt like maybe this could win you over.
Might.
Overall, right, the people, in Minnesota, right, they're not used to the kind of preaching that I do, the kind of Christianity that I have, where it's like, I believe the Bible, like God is real, and he has spoken, he's revealed himself to us in the Bible, and therefore I believe all of it, and I'm not embarrassed by any of it. I'm not going to like tiptoe around the things that might be controversial. If anything, I'm going to lean into those things, and I'm going to
like
preach
Jesus
all of it.
said.
And that runs totally against the evangelical Christian ethos in America today. It's
really,
it's all about, you need to be nice. You need to, make Jesus very inoffensive to people, and that's how you bring people into your church.
So I'll say I'm not an evangelical.
Yeah.
I've always liked the evangelicals. I've always defended them. I'm very sympathetic. I'm not even exactly sure what an evangelical is. It seems more like a cultural descriptor, but I'm completely opposed to abortion. So that has been, for me, the reason that I've always defended them. But I always thought that the evangelicals were really forthright about their faith, another thing that I liked.
Yeah.
And were way more on the kind of fire and brimstone side, which I'm for, by the way.
Good, yeah.
But you're saying that they're not.
That was certainly, you look at like, the 80s and even in the early 90s, like you have the moral majority where they very much were that kind of fire and brimstone, and they've they've been vindicated by everything that has happened.
Oh, I'd say.
And-
I'd say. That's
Yeah.
hilarious. Lent is here. The period before Easter, the 40 days, and it's a unique chance to get closer to God. That's the point of it.
Oh my
Power of the
God!
world's
No,
number one
you're
prayer
fucking
app
with
can
me.
help
You're
That's safe.
fucking with me. That is not real.
Oh, that's real.
That is unreal.
That is too real.
That is crazy.
Yeah, there's an app for a prayer.
That
he,
is fucking
cuts into
insane. That is insane on all of the levels that the book has ever spoken about.
Yeah.
To do that, the double, the back, oh baby, that's like a.
But it's also like even like I agree with all of
Yeah.
those motions that you just made and the words.
I feel like I just watched I feel like I watched Tony Hawk hit the 720 for the first time all over.
You mean the
again.
900?
Yes, that's what I was saying. Yeah, and it's like,
Turn
Come on, man,
right.
720.
Apologies. I was this was back before the 900 was
Sure,
a number.
sure.
No, it does feel like you guys hit all of it.
Yeah.
You hit all of it in the
Get
same
ready to
5
turn
seconds.
left.
Yeah, and
Amazing.
it's somehow elevated even further by how bad the edit
Turn
into
left.
the commercial is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's clunky, it's unsophisticated, it's lazy, it doesn't care how on the nose it is.
It feels like Joel Schumacher directed it. Like, this is Starship Troopers levels of like, we're being
Go
as
straight on.
obvious as we can about how this is insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
I think that a prayer app, I don't know why you need it, number one. And number two, it seems like it's a bad idea for the paranoid type of Christian that Tucker seems to have
Turn
in his
left.
audience. Like, you download this app, and now the devil has a handy little list of all the real Christians. You know, next thing you know, you're going to a FEMA camp.
You have
know,
arrived
like
at
that's
your
Yeah.
this is stupid.
Your rap
Why
guide
would you
is
get an
now
app?
finished.
If you were going to like say that whomever was proven right,
Jerry Falwell.
if you will, I can't imagine rereading the Left Behind novels if they were set, because again, the Left Behind novels are set in the apocalypse, which could happen at any time, and as we know, did not happen at that time.
No.
So now we're wrestling with the concept of a biblical apocalypse happening concurrently with prayer apps. It does not get more obvious who's getting left behind.
Yeah.
But I got the prayer app,
Well, that was a trap. Sorry.
right?
Yeah.
How could that not be a trap?
Hey, you got a prayer app. I got all your information. I sold it to my Silicon Valley friends who own this compound in the middle of Kentucky.
The concept of a several thousand-year-old religion being like, well, obviously we need apps.
Yeah.
Amazing.
There's an app for that.
There's an app for it.
For your soul. You know what? I think that one of the essential things about like the history of religion,
Yeah.
like especially in Christianity,
Yeah.
The progression has been about access to the divine,
Right.
Not being kept in the priests,
Right.
You know, the everyone.
The theses,
has-
all 90 whatever of them. Yeah,
Time to
that's a
hit the road.
huge part of Christian tradition.
big deal.
And I think the idea of injecting an app into your relationship with God, as opposed to it being a direct one-to-one, I think that that's actually regressive.
It's about as far away as you can get.
Yes. But again, it's this melding of the religious fundamentalist ideology with tech bro bullshit.
Yep.
And I think that Tucker is right at this, like, weird crossroads.
Nailing it.
Of that. And I think that this episode is so illustrative of a lot of that.
It makes if that's what we're witnessing, it does make everything make
Turn
way
right.
more sense. Because if you don't see that those two, because I mean before now, I honestly didn't think it was
Get ready
possible
to
for those
turn
two to
left.
overlap. But clearly,
Turn
I
left.
am the fool.
I don't think it's possible for them to overlap for long.
That's probably a better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that they're like, what is it? Fuck. Okay, so I was listening to this guy Andrew,
Yeah.
his podcast.
Yeah.
And one of the terms that really like stuck out to me that gets used a couple times is they refer to groups that are with them as co-belligerents.
Great.
Get
Yeah,
ready to
and
turn
so
left.
like there's this idea of we're in this battle, and like I don't like these milquetoast Christians or whatever, but
Turn
they're
left.
co-belligerents against the devil. And so I think that they can think of Silicon Valley and venture capital firms and stuff like that as co-belligerents.
Wild.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
And I don't think that can last long. But
Do you remember when you were growing up and I assume everybody gets there, but maybe I'm wrong. You know, you're growing up in the church and everybody's talking to you, and then you get to the question where you're like, okay, but what if you've never heard about Jesus? Do you still get to go to heaven or not? And they all go like, bah, you know, whatever made up answer you want to give. I like to imagine that 10 years from now, they're like, but what about people who don't have the app? Do they still get to go to heaven?
I use an Android.
Oh, no! The green bubble!
It's the mark of the beast.
Does God get the green bubble?
The green bubble is the mark of the beast.
Brutal.
You have to have blue.
I mean, sure.
I don't know.
Fine. Whatever.
So, something that I think is also pretty well illustrated by this episode is the way that this guy, his presentation is a lot of, like, evangelicals are soft.
Yeah, they're weak.
Yeah. They're like last year's model.
Okay.
I believe is the way that he's trying to sell it, and I think it's because he wants to get them insecure.
Right.
He wants people who are like in that evangelical wave that got swept up in Trump fanaticism to like feel like, oh no, I gotta go farther. I gotta
right.
go, you know.
Right.
It's kind of a marketing tactic.
I gotta up my subscription to get the same quality of belief.
Yeah, because I'm not a real Cutco salesperson unless I have the big
right.
box.
I need Jesus Plus.
Yeah,
that's what we're talking about here.
Yeah, so he talks about that a little bit.
Okay.
But throughout the 90s and early 2000s, they really changed course, right? As the cultural trajectory is changing, they adopted, you know, the very seeker-sensitive movement where it's like, well, people
sorry, what did you call it?
Yeah, the seeker-sensitive movement is. It was right, the big movement in evangelicalism in the 90s and early 2000s, where we're gonna make it as easy as possible for people to come into the church and believe in Jesus, and so we're not going to focus on things that might offend them. We're not going to focus on sin and repentance and things like that. We're just come on in and have a good time and know that you're welcome here, right? Well, come as you are. We'll meet you halfway. Like that was more or less the.
Why do you think they did that?
I think, you know, a friend of mine, I think I can call him a friend, Aaron Wren, he's written about this, like, neutral world, or negative world, neutral world, positive world, where, you know, in the 70s and 80s, Christianity is generally understood culturally as a positive thing. Like, if you said, oh, I go to church, I'm a Christian, I go to that church, people would think, oh, that's a good guy, he's an upstanding, decent person. But by the mid-90s, it was sort of neutral, right? It was sort of, well, that's just a cool thing that you do, right? Just like collecting stamps or building model trains or being part of the Lions Club. But by the Obama years, by like 2015, you're in negative world, where if you're an evangelical Christian, you are suspect. You're probably a Nazi. You're probably a bigot. You're probably a white supremacist.
Well,
right? That's the attitude.
If the shoe.
Cautious to state for the 1 millionth time, the Nazis were not Christians.
No, I know.
So they were not Christians.
Well, they love to throw those things around. And,
Nazis are Christians.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. More Christians were killed by the Nazis than any other group. Just a fact. So anyway, no, the Nazis were not Christians. So I have to say that.
Good to make, you know.
Go straight on.
They'll clip this. Say, yeah, Andrew Isker is saying that the Christians are Nazis.
Yikes. So I think that the evangelical church took on some of that more accepting attitude for the same reason like that the Catholic Church eased up a little bit in the 70s. Attendance was down, so they were willing to make a deal. There's probably a bit of a burnout in the wake of the Satanic Panic, apprehending literally 0 demons, and the church probably felt the need to be a little more positive and more inclusive, or else people weren't going to show up, and that means no tithes. It's a good marketing strategy to be a little bit more welcoming. Like, yeah, Starbucks had sofas.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
yeah. I mean, because during the Inquisition, you know, you caught just about everybody because you just made it up, right?
Yeah.
But then during the Satanic Panic, you can't just catch people. Where it's not the 1600s
tried.
anymore. They did try.
Yeah.
They did try.
And the reason that it wasn't as effective is because
you can't just grab people.
Yeah.
It's against the law.
Stuff and all that, like, it didn't work as well.
It's a lot easier to get confessions out of people when you can torture them. It just is. It's crazy.
And I think that like sort of image rehab is something that the church felt the need to go through.
Sure.
And like getting with the times, because otherwise people were just gonna gravitate away from it.
Isn't it a nice little up and down, further and closer away from the Inquisition? That's just the story of religion.
Yep. So it's a little strange how Tucker will scream about how it's wrong for people to say that the Nazis were Christians. But I wonder if he devotes as much energy to rebutting the claim that, like, Nazis are socialists, which is constant in his world.
Rerouting.
When Tucker says that more Christians were killed by Nazis than any other group, he's including people like Soviet
mind.
soldiers.
I'll find a new route.
This kind of framing is something that you see a lot with crypto neo-Nazi types because it's meant to dilute the audience's image of what the Holocaust was. Christians were the real victims, you see? He knows exactly what he's doing. You wouldn't deploy this kind of rhetoric unless you're really trying to encourage a certain way of thinking.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of numerical-based genocide arguments. Like, no. I know that he specifically intended to do that one, but the rest of it, that's more people, so it doesn't count.
The Nazis killed more Christians. You don't see us complaining about it. I say as I complain.
Yep, absolutely. While discussing the JQ, completely unironically.
You seem cool.
Yeah. Not confused Nazis at all.
Yeah. I don't think it's confusion.
Well, that's fair. I mean, I agree with you in the sense that they don't believe they're confused.
Yes.
But I do think that the brain can't process all of this information without spectacular confusion.
Yeah. But I think that this this guy has some points, like in terms of his understanding of some dynamics of Christianity in the church.
Sure.
Like, I don't think he's wrong. I think that there was a softening of Christianity, especially evangelical Christianity, over this time period that he's talking about. And then I think that the brand became pretty bad through the Iraq War.
Sure.
And into Tea Party, Obama years. Like, I think that it did become more toxic. And being a part of the evangelical church went from maybe a positive way back to a neutral to a negative. People were a little bit sus on it. So I don't want to, I listen to a lot of people who are just like, all you're saying is detached from any semblance of reality.
Yeah.
And at least that kind of like, that thought makes sense.
I wonder how much that means anything to me.
Probably not.
Not in the sense that I'm saying that. I mean more like they softened their image, but the fundament has remained the same, obviously, because here we are. Right?
Well,
like there was a deliberate softening of the image that is identical to his slippery slope plan.
Right.
So would you describe it as an actual softening or as a bullshittery?
I think that it's like well, I don't want to call it like a disease because that I don't know if I want to.
Feel free.
Then it's a disease that went dormant. Then
sure,
you know, like it's like the John Birch Society in conservative politics,
right?
You know, like it didn't actually go away.
Right.
It went dormant and then resurged.
Right.
The softening of the image was on top. Maybe the whole thing wasn't like this.
Right.
Like this wasn't what Christianity was the whole time.
Sure.
As the image was softening.
Sure.
But the potential for this to resurge was there.
Is it? Because I truly believe this. It is incumbent upon these people to then admit that they were lying, right?
You'd think, which is a sin.
I mean, it seems like it's one of the things that they should really have to repent for.
Yeah.
Because that's what they believe.
Yeah, but that was before.
That's a good point.
Yep.
God doesn't have continuity.
Time ain't real, baby.
Yeah, that's fair.
So he talks a little bit more about this, the softening of evangelical Christianity.
Sure.
So Tim Keller is in New York City, and he tries to adapt Christianity to your upper middle class strive for people in New York City, or to make it easy for them to come to church. So he wouldn't ever, talk about homosexuality, or if he did, it would be, well, that's not so good for human flourishing, but we're not really going to talk about that too much. There's the former president of the Southern Baptist Convention, J.D. Greear, famously said in a sermon, well, the Bible just whispers about sexual sin, but it shouts about like financial sin or greed, right? So they want to downplay.
It shouts about both of them.
It does, and the two are connected, right?
Yeah.
Right. If you're greedy for money, you're also going to be lusting after the flesh, like that. The two go hand in hand. And so, but it's to downplay things that the culture does not want to hear, right? Because you'll be branded as a bigot, as intolerant, as a bad person if you're just like, well, this is what the Bible says. Like this, fornicators, adulterers, sodomites, they will not inherit the kingdom of God, right? If you say, yes, I agree with that, well, you're a bad person, right? You are outside of polite society if you say those things.
And you can reject it. You can reject Christianity itself. You're certainly welcome to in this country and in all countries, actually. But it doesn't just say this parenthetically.
No, it's
or like included in a sidebar. It says it again and again and again. And in the church I grew up in, they're like, well, there are only 4 times where, in the scriptures where people, where homosexuality is attacked. And it's like, since no one ever read it in my church, no one knew. But like, I finally read it. What the hell? Why not read it? And I did. And I've never been anti-gay or anything like that. But by the end, I was like, oh, there's a really clear message.
Yeah.
From like the Hebrew scriptures all the way through the Christian New Testament.
Yeah.
And like again and again.
Is that what you call it?
Again, you don't have to believe it, but if you're a believing Christian, it's not whispered at all.
Yeah, you do.
Shout it.
Yeah, you do have to believe it if you're a Christian.
Exactly.
Like if you claim that this is the Bible, that God spoke this, right?
I agree.
Yeah, so I guess the temperature is shifting over to this.
I can see that.
I feel like years ago when we were doing this podcast, it was like, hey, it's very clear that attacks on trans people are going on in an effort to push towards the same sort of treatment being given to anybody, any gay person.
No, everybody listened.
Well, I think a lot of people were very keenly aware of this, and you had dipshits like Tucker and Alex being like, no, it's totally different.
Right.
I'm totally cool with gay people.
Right.
Except I'm lying.
Well, I mean, it is something that I don't think it's unreasonable. And in fact, I think it was very reasonable for people to behave within that time period as though they were talking to people in good faith.
Yeah.
And so if I were talking to them and I said, don't do that, it's a slippery slope towards them being like, we're Nazis now, then they could be like, no, that's unreasonable, I'm going to take them at face value, right? But now you can't. You can't do that. It's on you now to say that they are a slippery slope machine that makes slippery slopes as argument factories. Yeah, that's what they do.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, and that's one of the things that I found most interesting about this fella is that I think he is a little more good faith in some ways than a lot of the people that I generally listen to.
I agree.
But he is also still deeply manipulative and trying to slippery slope things.
Well,
and it's such a different like sort of balance of that.
Yeah.
Like Tucker is deeply bad faith.
Yeah,
in
absolutely.
everything that he's doing here.
Absolutely.
And everything that he does on his show in general.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's this guy's weird.
It's wild.
Yeah. I hope he has a good time in the woods.
I mean, listen, as somebody who grew up in a place of people doing basically that, not gonna work.
Yeah,
not gonna work. Doesn't last.
So again, this like I love liberalism, but it's the same thing he's doing here. Like I was never against gay people, but it's very fucking clear from the Bible that in order to be Christian, you must stamp this out, or else it's part of society going backwards.
Totally. I'm totally fine with everybody making their own choices, except I get to determine what women wear when they go outside, and they can't be anywhere near another man without me next to him. This is reasonable. Everybody's free.
And Jewish people gotta go.
Whoa. I don't even know what that word means.
Yeah.
Nah.
So they talk a little bit about atheism some more.
Oh, those
Tucker tells not any specific stories, but reflects on getting drunk with Christopher Hitchens.
Fun.
That'd
be fun.
And then suggests that you can't really be atheist.
Fair.
Just to go back to the atheists for a second, what do they make of this? Like, it just... I certainly understand being agnostic. Like, I don't know. I get it.
Yeah, I can see why someone would have that viewpoint.
For sure.
Yeah.
I think that's a pretty normal, place to be. I think it's wrong, but I don't think it's crazy.
Yeah.
But to be an atheist, to have determined that there is no God, like, what do you make of the things you see around you? Have you never held someone's hand while he dies? Like, what do you think that is?
Yeah.
You've never felt anything that is clearly outside of what science describes? Like, how determined are you to ignore your life? That you become an atheist? Like, what is that?
I know it's crazy.
Know any?
I think it's important to hear clips like this to have a reminder that Tucker has to think he's talking to idiots. His big slam dunk on atheists is, haven't you ever felt something that seems like it's outside of science? One of the reasons this is so dumb is because Tucker isn't a brain scientist, and he can't honestly answer the question, have you ever experienced something that science definitely can't explain? Because he has no idea.
Have you not seen the lightning? It comes from the sky, and it's made of magic. What are you talking about?
As long as you know nothing about science, science can't explain anything.
When is this ever not applicable? At what point in human history haven't you ever seen the sky?
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about?
I definitely am 100% on board that there are some things that science can't explain as we understand it.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that an explanation eventually won't be available.
The things science can explain fuck me up. I don't like any of that shit.
Because like a whole lot of like really mystical shit and stuff that feels like entirely otherworldly and shit can be explained by some pretty simple chemicals that we just don't care to learn about that much.
There's a lot.
So I don't know. I think this is really stupid, and Tucker isn't that. I don't think he's that stupid. I think that reflects a hatred of his audience.
I mean, it is like using evidence like, I meant to call my mom the other day, and as I picked up the phone, she was dialing. Haven't you ever seen magic? Like, buddy, it's fine.
Haven't you ever held someone's hand while they're dying?
I'm working on a riff on Pascal's wager. All right, I'm going to call it Holmes's wager, and that's I will bet you everything that there is no God. If there is a God, I'll shit in his mouth and go to hell. That's my wager.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yep.
What do I have to do?
Nothing. Everybody just makes the bet on their own.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm out.
Oh, okay, fine. That's fair.
I don't want to shit in someone's mouth.
I'm going to win.
So, Tucker, I think he's getting a little heady because he's talking about like these invalidations of atheism.
Sure.
And he goes off on a little bit of an ethics tear.
I like it.
I think this is just so stupid.
Right. So there's very few people, especially now, that are like, I'm an atheist. There definitely is no God. Right?
Okay, well then, why is murder wrong?
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh, you got us.
Because it is.
Boom!
Okay, I think it's
Boom!
wrong. Yeah. So how?
What now?
You tell me it's
what
wrong.
now?
Yeah.
Because you feel that way. That's your authority. Your emotions.
And you would see this. I remember.
So like the people you were saying who are atheists, like, they ever? Some of them are smart, I assume.
Yeah.
What do they say to that?
I remember watching, previous guest of yours, actually the man who trained me in ministry, Doug Wilson.
Yeah.
Debate.
Wonderful man.
Christopher
Nice
Hitchens.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yes.
And they had that discussion, right? And it was shocking to watch Hitchens say, well, it's common human experience, solidarity with mankind. That's why I think murder is wrong. And of course, Doug says to him, well, if you saw someone being like murdered on the street, you think that's bad, right? Well, why? And he goes into his whole spiel, and he's like, well, what if it's a pregnant woman and her baby's murdered, right? You would just say, Well, no, you need to have a medical license for that to kill that person.
Boom!
Like you got
Double down!
You wouldn't go down that road.
This is some piss poor ethics talk, and again, it relies heavily on Tucker being confident that the audience that's listening is very dumb.
Yep.
His reliance on his God saying that murder is wrong is just as valid as me making up a God who says that murder is good. When you hinge an entire ethical framework on "my God said so," you're making your beliefs more arbitrary, not less. This is like freshman year philosophy stuff. Like, if your definition of what is right and wrong comes down to what God says, then why did God say X is right and Y is wrong? Is the thing right or wrong solely based on whether God says it is or not? If so, then your morality is just based on your belief about a deity's preference. If not, then there has to be an external code of morality that exists even above God, and you're following God's rules because you believe that God's a good interpreter of these sets of rules. Neither of these is a good stopping point, which is why it's generally good to have a sense of morality that takes things at least a step or two deeper than God said so.
Sure.
It's fucking stupid. This is a dull argument that they're engaged in, and I can see why Hitchens wouldn't really be interested in taking these points seriously. As for the point about abortion, if I saw someone who wasn't a doctor performing an abortion on an unwitting person on the street, that would be concerning. I think that in his stupidity, he's not realizing that there are a bunch of variables in these two situations that make them not analogous at all.
There's a surprising number of things that, in his conception, could probably just be solved with somebody going like, "Hey, bud, what are you up to? You want to explain?
You need a drink?"
This is where it ends.
How's things going?
Going great.
Yeah. Good luck with the church.
Oh, boy.
So they talk a little bit more about morality here. And I think that, again, this is just convoluted shit.
It's wrong.
Well, and you can see
why?
Yeah, you can see why it's breaking down, though, today.
Under the weight of its own silliness.
Yeah. It
Funny how that
creates this
works.
vacuum, and it's being replaced by something. So all of the moralistic energy is still there, and now it's gone to things like transgenderism, abortion, Gaza, whatever. Like it goes to all of those routes. It goes to BLM and rioting.
Yes, that's right.
And so
because it's
highly religious.
It's in us.
Yeah,
it's in us. We can't get away from the conviction, the true conviction that some things are right and some things are wrong.
Yeah. It's fundamentally human. Absolutely.
So, but an atheist would have to, by definition, be utterly non-judgmental about everything. Like
you would think they should be, but they're the most judgmental people.
It's unbelievable.
Right?
I mean, Christopher at dinner was always lecturing about the Kurds, and I'm nothing against the Kurds. I don't know much about the Kurds. I ran into them in Iraq.
I can imagine that conversation.
People in Iraq, I did notice that. Yeah. But he was so. Again, I'm not against the Kurds. I'm not an expert in Kurdishness, but he would like lay down his life for the Kurds.
Yeah.
I remember thinking, what is this? And it was the need to sort of find a good guy and a bad guy and put yourself on the good guy's side.
Yeah.
Oh, like God. So if I understand the argument correctly, they're saying that humans have an inherent need to judge things and take on the air of moral superiority through that. People like Tucker and Andrew are good and smart because they've outsourced this task to God. And because they pretend to follow God's judgments, they get to take on a real air of moral superiority. Conversely, in the absence of God, people like Christopher Hitchens have to find other things to find moral purpose in, like advocating for the Kurds. Because they sought out moral actions and didn't just say, "I'm doing this because God said so," they don't deserve to feel any air of real moral superiority like Tucker does. So while we're on the subject, back in the period of 2006 to 2011, Tucker used to be an occasional guest on Bubba the Love Sponge's radio show.
Good stuff.
And in one of those appearances, he said, quote, "Iraq is a crappy place filled with a bunch of semi-literate primitive monkeys."
What you gonna do?
So maybe his take on the Kurds I'm not going to listen to entirely. So there's no reason to conclude that not believing in a God makes you non-judgmental. Like, it's almost such an incoherent argument that I don't even know how you would approach it. Like,
well, I mean, I suppose you would approach it from the Calvinist direction, right? And you would simply say that any sin is an equal sin in its affront to God, which is what matters. So murder, if you like, yeah, absolutely is bad, but murder is no better or worse than any other sin because the only thing that matters is the affront to God.
Right, the accounting of those affronts.
Yeah, absolutely. And even then, because that's already predetermined by God, it doesn't even really matter whether or not you murder somebody or not. What matters is what happens at the very end.
Yeah, but okay, I hear what you're saying.
Sure.
But I think...
Well, I'm not saying that. That's Calvin.
No, but I get what you're citing.
Sure, gotcha. Yeah.
But I think that what Tucker is talking about is kind of like judgment in terms of like being rude. You know?
Right.
Like,
atheists are so judgmental.
Yeah. It's not about like this is a greater sin than that or anything.
Right.
It's like Christopher Hitchens is on his high horse about the Kurds.
Right.
And where does he get off? He doesn't even believe in God.
I mean, I don't think you're wrong.
What? I don't know. I'm flummoxed by these dum-dums.
For all the arguments that they make, they claim to have studied a lot, right? But the arguments betray a lack of said study.
Yeah, or there's some amount of study and a willful rejection of the things you would have learned through that study in order to appeal to people who know very little and are easily distracted by jangling keys.
I mean, it's a disinterest in something that I do think is incredibly interesting and has a large amount of literature, the arguments over all of this stuff just through the Bible alone. And they, but to ignore all of that and go, well, then what's wrong with murder? Fuck you.
Right. And I cannot stress enough how anybody who's had a undergraduate philosophy class would have had these conversations at great length. And both of these guys said they went to college.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Please don't ever make me go back there.
Yeah. So Andrew had a church in Minnesota.
Yep.
And then he decided to go to Tennessee to do this stuff.
No golden tablets necessary.
No, and he had to say goodbye to that old congregation.
Bummer.
And tell them what he was going off to.
And I just told them that I have to leave Minnesota. There's a place for me there in Tennessee, and it's ultimately what is best for my family's future. There's a place where my children, can grow up. Because part of it too is it isn't just the things that we're leaving, the political, cultural things that we're leaving in Minnesota, but it's also, overall the things that have been done to the Midwest, to everywhere, where my children grow up, and if they want to have a career and a life and a family and success of their own, there just isn't much for them in small town Midwest, and so they'll all just fly the coop. This is what happened. When I graduated from high school, most of the people that I grew up with, they all left. They went to the Twin Cities. They went to other cities for work and for careers. And so that same thing was likely going to happen with my children. And I look at it and I think, well, my family's been here for 6 generations, and whether it's going to end here, right? And I want to be in a place where we can continue that, where we can be rooted, where my children have the ability to stay in a place. And so many friends are coming to Tennessee where we are. They're bringing businesses there, and once you build things at scale, like the more stuff you're able to do, the more businesses you're able to have, the more opportunity is for young people. And so, right, if my children want to stay where we are and continue that on generation after generation, like we actually will be able to do that. Right? It wasn't so much just, okay, we need to leave Minnesota, but it's also we're being drawn to a place for a particular reason.
The Tennessee dream.
There's a future there. Yeah.
The hope of refugees from time immemorial.
Yeah.
So earlier the argument was that Andrew had a weird fantasy about what he imagined was going on at the public school, and he didn't want the state to tell him he can't put his kid in conversion therapy, so they had to get out of Minnesota.
Yeah.
Now I guess this has turned into a gold rush narrative.
It's a little different.
I understand that maybe employment prospects were tough in Waseca, but you have to understand that they aren't going to be better off in the middle of nowhere. The place they're ending up in is located a little ways outside of a town that's 1/10 of Waseca's size. I get that the pitch here is basically that Silicon Valley type jobs can be relocated to a cheap place in the middle of nowhere, and venture capital firms can create little company towns, but it's not going to fly. You might notice that all of these people who are like relocating to Texas, like Elon and Rogan, they aren't going to the middle of nowhere in Texas. They're going to Austin.
Yeah.
Because that's a city that has the infrastructure and all the other amenities you need to accommodate large businesses like Tesla or Rogan's media and supplement operation.
Yep.
The story Andrew is telling here is a farce. He says that he's going to this new place because it's a chance for his children to have roots, but he's leaving a place where they already have deep roots and his history of 6 generations. None of the points he's making line up together or make sense, which leads me to a strong suspicion that this really is mostly about control. And it even makes sense that there would be this obsession with, like, the roots stuff, but he wants to control even that. He wants to break from the roots that he had, so he can be in control of the beginning of these roots.
Yeah.
He's creating a new family legacy while mythologizing the one that he has rejected by leaving Minnesota.
Yeah.
And it's pretty fucked up. I think he's a weird guy.
Yeah. You know, I think when I was growing up, because this was, you know, it's always, think about the children. Oh, think about the children. What are we going to think about the children, right? And so the parents in these kinds of communities want to create a world for their kids that kind of allows them to grow up still believing the same stuff, right?
With their worldview imposed and non-threatened.
And because if you control the environment, it won't feel like imposition. It'll just be the way that you grew up, right? I feel like that made more sense, like, 500 years ago, whenever the next 100 years would seem almost identical to the 100 years previous to that.
Okay.
Now, the idea of, like,
new
molding your child's growth 5 years from now is absurd. It's just absurd. You have no idea what it's going to look like. You have no fucking clue.
Yeah.
And then 10 years from that, whenever they're actually making, like, strong decisions about their own moral character from within, like, what is 10 years going to look like with computers?
Yeah,
right.
The level of control you would need to exert over some child, in order to maintain that box,
absurd.
It's in the modern world, it seems very crazy.
Yeah.
But you know, God bless him for trying.
I suppose. I don't think God's doing that, but I suppose we all should hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you move your kids out to the middle of nowhere to start a church. I think you might make them more likely to leave when they can.
That does tend to be the case.
Yeah.
That does tend to be the case.
This one sounds like a dud. So Tucker is a bit of a racist and
an ethnic essentialist, I think I would call him.
Well, don't use those words. He's a ethnic city essentialist. He thinks of towns by their ethnicities.
Oh my God!
Christians build your state.
Yes.
And all of it, and every bit of it, and it's so telling when you go to the Twin Cities. I think of them as Protestant and Catholic.
Yeah.
I think of them as Scandinavian in Minneapolis and Irish.
Yeah.
And others in St. Paul.
Yeah.
But both of them, especially St. Paul, just littered with churches and schools, and it's just like the infrastructure of those cities was built by Christians.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's a little bit crazy that, first of all, it's been taken over by people who have made a point to stick a finger in the eye of Christians to make it impossible for them to live there. It's like you're being driven out of your own homeland, 6 generations.
Yeah, sounds true. This is what happened with my wife is from St. Paul. Her father's side of the family is Polish Catholic.
Yeah.
We went to St. Casimir's Church.
Exactly. That's exactly in my mind what I think.
In the neighborhood that they were in, it was all Polish people.
Yeah.
But now it's all Hmong, right? Everywhere. It's all Hmong and Somali, and everyone there just left over the last 2 or
What
3
happened
generations.
to their churches and parochial schools? And
St. Casimir's Church is there, but it's largely empty, right? We went there for a funeral a couple years ago, but people still attended, but it's not like it was. Most of the parishes there have shut down. The church schools have shut down, and they've moved out to the suburbs. And so that was a Polish neighborhood. It was right, this ethnic enclave.
if I can just say,
gone.
Showing myself to be an ethnic nationalist,
essentially,
they're just like some of the greatest people
Yeah.
I've ever met. I don't think I've ever met.
Well, I have to say they married one. So
Yeah, I just think they're great people. I've met many I don't like, but just salt of the earth, smart, hardworking, serious about faith and family. Yeah, great people.
Yeah.
I doubt it was an improvement, the change to St. Paul. In fact, it wasn't. I've been
it's
Okay, I've got it fixed.
Yeah.
I fixed it.
Okay.
I figured it out. All right. I don't think it's possible for us to talk these people out of thinking segregation is a great idea.
No, I don't think so either.
It's not possible.
No.
So, here's what we do. We solve things the American way. Reality TV show. One house, segregation. The other house, desegregation. Who lasts, we do it for 100 years. Right? Whoever does best gets the country.
I think it's a bad idea.
We could set up rooting sides. I think it'd be great.
I think it's a bad idea, but I think that it's a
Finding
good
a new
punt,
route.
because by the time there's an answer, we'll all be dead.
That's the idea.
So,
but what the point is, it'll keep the segregationists focused on the show instead of trying to make everything so goddamn segregated.
that's 4D chess, baby.
Yep, that's the idea.
So yeah, this is some racist shit. But
Yeah.
here's the issue. I don't think it matters to say that this is racist shit.
No.
They know.
Yeah.
They're aware of this.
He
They
said
just don't.
ethnic nationalist.
They just don't think it's bad.
No.
Yeah.
Turn
We've
left.
now reached a point in the conversation where it is we just don't believe basic concepts in common.
Oh, you're just pro-segregation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
At very least, differential levels of rights among different populations.
No.
At very least.
No, because this is the conversation
Go
that they're
straight on.
doing again. It is slippery slope on purpose. So it is never going to be just that. It is always going to be the next step on top of that.
I totally agree with you.
I'm sorry for getting very aggressive about
No, I
that.
totally agree with
Yeah.
you, and it's a good point. It is just the analytically from what they're saying, that's
Totally.
the least you could expect.
No, totally. That's
Yeah.
you're totally right, and that's their trick.
Pretending it's anything more benign than that is
Yeah.
absurd.
You're
Go
pro
straight
segregation. Fine, we're done talking. I'm anti segregation. I guess that's just how this works. But the idea that there is more to talk about is their trick, not mine.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think the problem that evangelicals have, according to this fella, is that they just haven't been taught the Bible.
Sounds true to me.
And then Tucker reveals that he hasn't. He doesn't have much familiarity.
Many evangelical people, right, have not been taught really any Bible or theology at all. And you see this in surveys, the Barna group does surveys, and right, what people believe about different things. And they haven't been taught any Bible. They don't know it. And so then when the liberal says, well, the Bible condemns eating shellfish and pork, and in the same way it condemns homosexuality. So what do you have to say about that? And they have no idea how to explain that, what that is about. And their faith is shaken. Or
God didn't destroy 2 cities with sulfur and fire because people were eating pork.
That's right. Yes.
He destroyed them because they tried to commit gay rape on an angel.
Yeah,
That's just
yeah.
No, they did.
Well, the sin of
That's not why it did.
inhospitality.
No, it wasn't.
Well, I mean, I
it
guess
was gay rape.
Yeah, I mean, the least hospitable
I
thing
mean,
you can
just
do.
read it if you want. It's
Yeah.
it's pretty out there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the least hospitable thing you can do to a guest is to anally rape them. Yeah. So
All the men of the
so I
town
guess,
came out. They demanded
Yeah, we need to know these angels.
to have sex with these angels, and then it's like, I've got some daughters in here. Take them.
Yeah.
Which kind of takes a lot off my Christmas card list for saying something like that. But whatever. He does that. It's in Genesis. And then they're like, no, we want to rape the dudes. So it's like, These are not euphemisms. It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah. I mean, I just read Genesis 19 to my children, and there were some questions from the kids.
It was funny. I read that a couple of years ago for the first time.
Really?
A couple of years ago for the first time.
Yeah. That's weird.
That is wild.
I think that in the same way that, like, you know, I mentioned that, like, sort of some mystical experiences can be easily explained by brain chemicals that you just willingly or unknowingly don't know anything about.
Yeah.
The Bible says a bunch of shit that's mind-blowing if you've never cared to read it.
All kinds of shit in there.
Yeah.
You know what? It's been around for several thousand years.
Yeah, it's not surprising to me, the story of Sodom and Gomorrah. I knew that as a kid.
Yeah. You know, I mean, I think they mock it, but I think it's bullshit. Like, you don't expect, like, why do you listen to a fucking PhD in butterflies? You're not gonna read butterfly shit. You're like, I trust you. You have a PhD in butterflies. If the priest guy says that the Bible says this, the idea is you're supposed to be able to trust him. That's what the Bible's for, right?
Uh-huh.
You know, you shouldn't have to read it.
Sure.
You shouldn't.
Right.
Well,
That was their argument.
But here's the where it breaks down.
Sure.
Is that it's such a fundamental, like we talked about earlier, the progression of Christianity is this breaking down of the barriers between the divine and the individual.
Because you can't trust them.
Clearly. Well, there's more power in that than butterflies.
Exactly. Yeah.
History has shown. And that's where they miscalculated.
That is the problem.
Because the true power...
Butterflies.
Mothra.
Always been that way.
We need to call upon Mothra.
Two fairies, I know they look like children.
We need to take out Tucker.
It's unscientific.
Mothra. Hear my call. Da-da-da-da. So, Tucker, he knows that they're going to go out to the rural areas.
Sure.
And he's like, plant some wood, get some trees going.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Are you putting in evergreens, please?
Oh, I think everything. Yeah, I mean, there's pines. Yeah, there's.
Please don't neglect the pine.
Oh yeah.
I know it's a fast-growing tree, relatively speaking, but it's
beautiful.
It's the answer. And cedars, if you can, if you have water.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll be able. I mean,
well, okay.
Yeah, now we're gonna get into.
Since you're a preacher and Old Testament scholar, what was the inside of the temple clad with?
Cedar. Yeah, from Lebanon. Exactly. Yeah.
Nailed it.
God himself said cedar.
That's right. Yeah.
An accident? He was pretty specific about it.
Yeah. It smells great.
So maybe there's a reason my sauna has cedar on the inside.
That's right.
Just think of tell my kids that.
Just think of it like the temple.
It's my cedar church. Yes.
That's right.
No sacrifices, however. Well, here's something you may not have known. This network almost didn't exist. A trademark issue almost prevented us from launching by blocking us from using the name TCN. Now, a company called the American Country Network owned the rights to that trademark, and we were not sure if they would give them up. Looking back, American Country Network could have demanded a lot of money. They could have held us up at gunpoint in exchange for the name TCN, and a lot of businesses would have done that. But
instead, I have to do this ad.
They were incredibly nice.
They were so nice, I have to do this ad.
For free.
And
they gave it to us quick.
Right away, I did this ad.
This is not your average company at all. These are really, really nice people. And we're glad this happened because it let us get to know the American Country Network. It turns out it's a great place. Its leaders are excellent people with the same values that we do and we think that you do. American Country Network is a family-friendly conservative Christian group bringing the best country music to millions of households across the country, and it's growing fast.
Fuck off with this folksy bullshit. Like,
God will not be mocked, Dan!
I love this presentation that he thinks he's fooling anybody, that it's like, these are such nice people. I just decided to do this ad read.
I couldn't stop myself from doing this ad read. I tried. I looked in the mirror 3 times and I said, no! And then I just kept saying the ad read.
It's so funny. It's like, what world do you think people don't understand that this is a contract?
I mean, I don't know. I feel like the appropriate response to somebody that blatantly trying to rip me off. I feel like that's crazy. I want to slap you. Like, no.
Well, like it just makes me think of when I went to the show in Pennsylvania, the sponsors all doing a little bit of time up top.
Of course.
One of them being for like weird sleep syrup or something like that. It's like That's just what this is.
It's just a syrup that shares our values about sleep.
Right.
And also Christian nationalism.
Yeah. And they gave me a bunch of money, and so they're going to talk before my thing.
But it was God money. It's
Yeah.
cool. It's all cool. Yeah.
And I really just wanted them here because they're good people.
They are great people.
Yeah. Granted, they sponsored this.
We negotiated things and signed a contract.
Yeah. So we have one last clip here, and it's because towards the end of this. Well, I will say I probably would have cut out some more clips, but I decided to leave a lot of the theological alone.
Sure.
Because I don't really care.
No.
Like, I don't want to argue with someone about what their religious tenets are.
Sure.
I think it's funny a lot of the times when Alex has his misrepresentations of religion, and
they're delightful and weird.
But that's more about it being him.
Yeah.
I don't really care precisely what this guy believes about various scriptures.
Sure.
So I didn't farm those fields.
Who gives a shit?
And the end is a bit of a plug for the plots of land.
I mean, it's just so amazing. It's so amazing how well capitalism has just conquered it, and they just let it go.
Yeah.
I mean, it's genuinely amazing.
Yeah. Do you think? I don't know. I mean, I wonder if this is too conspiratorial of a thought, and that is that like Mark Andreessen put money into the company that the venture capital group.
Yeah.
That owns the company that has this big plot of land.
Yeah.
This guy is going on Tucker's show. Tucker knows Mark Andreessen.
Yep.
Like, is this connected? Do they connect? Like, I don't think it has to be. I don't think it's necessary.
No.
But it certainly looks
Keep
kind
left,
of like it could
turn
be
left.
not above board.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a
Turn
hard
left.
world to live in where conspiracy is one thing, but at the same time, when a small group of people set out to accomplish a thing and then accomplish it, I understand that is a conspiracy, but it's just like what we would regularly call a small group of people accomplishing a thing.
Yeah.
You know?
And then it's also hard for me to think about this outside of like its advertising use, in as much as like, okay, you've got this Christian nationalist guy who's said a bunch of really dumb, bad shit in the past.
Yep.
Who announces that he's going to start a church on a plot of land that this Christian nationalist, anti-woke venture capitalist group has bought. That's courting bad publicity.
I mean,
that's courting coverage in the media about like, oh, look at these Nazis going out to the woods. And then you get to play victim.
Sure.
You get to be like, oh, look at the system demonizing us.
Sure.
This is why you need to buy a plot of land.
Well,
out here.
That's how the real Noah's Ark nailed it. Yeah.
It kind of feels a little bit like that, but I can't tell how much of that is me just like, it would make sense if that's what this is.
Yeah, I mean, that is kind of the thing, the guy who set out to build the real Noah's Ark wasn't courting negative publicity, but I mean, I'm assuming that he had to know that people were going to be like, now you can see, you can't fit everybody in there,
But he wasn't selling berths on the Ark. He wasn't selling rooms on there.
That's true. Well, he was selling tours on a fictional boat.
Was he?
That's what the real Noah's Ark was for.
Oh, I thought you meant the real Noah's Ark. Like,
not the real Noah's Ark. No, that's true. Noah was not selling.
Yeah.
he was frankly, he was giving that shit away.
Yeah, Noah had no capitalist kind of motivation. Whereas this one has deep ones.
Very much so, yeah.
So anyway, here's just a little... he actually even refers to this as like a real estate venture.
Wow.
And so he just talks about that a little bit here.
The people that I've spoken to, the people I've met in the town, are very, they're like very enthusiastic. Actually, that especially when they see the things that I do, see the podcast I do, or various things, like, oh, like you're not at all like the TV man said you are. And of course, these are people that that we've been describing. Like they don't trust the media, they don't trust journalists, so they're already distrusting of that. I'm like, oh, it just seems like you really like Donald Trump and the United States and Americans and the Constitution and our freedoms, and I don't know, like, you seem like a just normal, conservative kind of guy. And I'm like, yeah, I am. I'm an open book. Like, there's no, what you see is what you get. What I believe
until later.
I earnestly believe.
Until later.
So people are have been very kind.
But the state legislature hasn't tried to
no
mess with your zoning permits or anything like that.
No, and
any victimhood.
The thing is, the company
can we do a little?
Itself is not saying, well, this is a community, like that would violate the Fair Housing Act, right? To say this is a Christian-only community. It's just that my church is allowed to build a church there, right? There's no law against that at all, and I can call up friends and say, hey, you want to move here and be part of our thing?
What are the costs like?
Oh, the cost of living is extremely low. Like,
it's real good. So yeah, they're just selling. They're trying to sell plots of land on this thing. It's very overt, and I think you're a little too aware of. Hey, this is Christians only, but we can't legally say that.
Yep.
I found another interview with the guy who runs the venture capital group.
Yeah.
The Ruby Ridge Rider or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
What is it called? Ridge.
Oh,
Go
no,
straight
actually,
on.
I can't. Now I can't.
Yeah,
Ridge Runner. Ridge Runner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that guy has a very similar kind of thing of like, I can't say that it's Christians only. That would be illegal.
Yeah.
But we're building a church there, and I hope that sends the message.
Yeah.
So that's cute. That's very cute. And what you see is what you get.
Yeah.
As illustrated by the winking way that he's expressing this.
Yeah, I mean, the irony of what they're doing and what he's saying is that it's very similar to segregation busing. Like, most schools that were the most segregated, like most areas that were segregated, remain so. Most schools that were segregated remain so because they stopped busing. Like, the only way to really force desegregation is to force desegregation. Because otherwise you can say, like, hey, you can't explicitly say you can't buy here, but also you can segregate your school as long as everybody's white. It's
Go
fucked
straight
up.
on.
Yeah, there are workarounds.
There are workarounds.
And that's clearly a big part of what this is.
Got a bus.
So I think that if I were a rich Satanist, I would buy a plot.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
I would
straight on.
challenge them a little bit.
Oh.
And I would build a church there too or something like that.
Totally.
And then see what happened. Just to fuck with them.
I mean, it's like the people. What was it? The Ten Commandments, and then right next to that was a statue of the devil, where it's like, well, I'm mad at one of those, and it's like, yes, but that's the point. You understand?
Yeah.
You understand the point I'm making is that you can't.
Yeah, if I had money to burn, that would be something that I would probably do just to fuck with them. But
Well, you can't do this. Aha, but that's the point.
Yeah, I'm too busy and can't afford it, so
Right.
I'll pass on this troll operation.
Just decorate Halloween. It's so fucked up every year, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
But you know what I would do?
What would you do?
Dark Easter.
Oh my God, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
That would be 3 upside down crosses on your yard.
Maybe not that.
Maybe not too far.
Yeah, no.
Not that Dark
I was
Easter.
thinking of like
Okay.
like a bunny.
Let's find a new route.
Right.
But scary.
The bunny from Monty Python.
Something
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. You went a little off field.
I want real
Time to
Dark
hit the
Easter.
road.
That's apologies. Yeah.
So I think that look, hey, it's Tucker week.
It is.
We're not abandoning Alex or anything like that, but I felt the spirit get in me that I wanted to talk a little more about Tucker.
Yeah.
And I think that this episode was really helpful in illuminating some of this point that I think is going to be important to keep in mind.
Yeah.
This synergy of like really, really bad ideology and rebranding of Silicon Valley tech billionaire bullshit.
Yep.
And it's almost perfectly encapsulated by this guest and the way Tucker is strategically presenting him.
Yeah.
And also, look, I want to say, I don't think I've seen you laugh as much as when, like, this episode, you've been laughing.
It's been very funny.
I don't know if it's come across on the mic. but there's been a lot of you being very amused by the bullshit these people are saying.
It's very bullshitty. I have to admit, I'm not missing. I feel like maybe we were in, not we. Alex has been in a fucking rut in his bullshit.
Gene Hackman.
Absolutely, and I feel like since there haven't been consequences for murdering Gene Hackman, I've felt a little bit of like I need to take a break, and this has been perfect.
Yeah.
This has been a perfect week of not doing Alex.
Yeah.
And we can move on.
My birthday is next week, and I was kind of considering a gift to myself being, I'm not even talk about Alex until I'm 41.
Amazing.
I was thinking about that, but then that's all next week, and that might be too long. I don't know. We'll see. We'll play it by ear.
Anything could happen.
But seriously, this Tucker guy, what a dick.
Wild.
We'll be back with another episode to learn about something. But until then, we have a website.
Indeed we do. It's knowledgefight.com.
Yep. We'll be back. But until then, I'm Neo. I'm Leo. I'm DZX Clark. I am the mysterious professor.
Woo, yeah, woo, yeah, woo!
And now here comes the sex robots.
Andy in Kansas, you're on the air. Thanks for holding.
Hello, Alex. I'm a first-time caller. I'm a huge fan. I love your work.
I love you. Knowledge fight. Dan and Jordan, I am sweating. Knowledgefight.com. It's time to pray.
I have great respect for Knowledge Fight.
Knowledge fight. I'm sick of them posing as if they're the good guys, saying we are the bad guys. Knowledge fight.
Dan and Jordan. Knowledge Fight.
Need money. Andy in Kansas. Andy, stop it. Andy in Kansas. Andy, it's time to pray. Andy in Kansas, you're on the air. Thanks for holding.
Hello, Alex. I'm a first-time caller. I'm a huge fan. I love your work.
Knowledge Fight.
Knowledgefight.com. I love you.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Knowledge Fight. I'm Dan.
I'm Jordan.
We're a couple dudes like to sit around, worship at the altar of Selene, talk a little bit about Alex Jones.
Oh, indeed we are, Dan.
Jordan.
Dan. Quick question for you.
What's up?
What's your bright spot today, buddy?
My bright spot is I'm fucking around and thinking about bringing back Matter of Time.
Oh,
because I accidentally discovered that MacGyver is on streaming. Classic MacGyver.
All right.
And I said, why not? I'll watch the pilot of MacGyver.
Because why not?
I haven't seen MacGyver in a long time.
Yeah.
I watched it when I was a kid.
Did you?
A bit. And I think there were more jokes about MacGyver than I
Episodes
actually
you've
watched.
seen? Yeah.
I've seen definitely a few.
Mm-hmm.
I also think a fair amount of them blur together with Walker, Texas Ranger. And so, like, I'm not sure exactly what's Norris, what's Richard Dean Anderson. And so I turned it on. And I have to tell you, I was overwhelmed by the opening credits. It is so much boy stuff, like from my childhood. Like it's just him doing a bunch of stuff that like rambunctious boys might do in the opening theme. It's just great. It tickled something in my brain.
Yeah,
and I love it. I can't wait to watch however many seasons there are.
I don't believe I've ever seen a full episode of MacGyver, but I've seen the last 8 minutes of 15 episodes of MacGyver, and they are very similar.
Yeah. I know that I've watched plenty.
Yeah.
Enough to answer this question that I don't really know, and that is, what does he do? Watch the pilot. I don't know.
Is he? I feel like he's an independent contractor in some way. He's not wholly working for the like force, or you know what I mean?
Well, the government definitely tells him we need you to do something.
Right.
And then but he is also told you can turn down this job.
Right.
You don't have to do this.
It's
This
a very
is crazy.
it's a very strange relationship he has with the government. Almost like altruistic in a sense. Like he's like, the government needs me again. I'll just help them out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in this one, there's a explosion in a negative third floor chemical plant.
Oh no!
And it turns out that it was sabotage by the head scientist because he had created a way to get rid of the ozone layer accidentally. And he didn't want it to fall into the wrong hands.
Okay.
So he lured the only other scientist in the world who understood what he was working on to his lab.
Yeah.
They played a chess game with him and then blew it up.
Okay.
And
so they both died.
No, they both survived.
They both
accidentally.
survived?
Yeah.
Oh no.
A lot of other people died. But they survived, so MacGyver's got to go down and get them.
Oh my God.
And there's a chemical leak.
Yeah.
And so the military is going to shoot a missile at them.
Of course.
If he doesn't get there on
This
time.
is a hell of a pilot.
Yes. And while he's down there, he meets the assistant to one of these scientists.
Of course.
This lady.
Sure.
And she is like the gal from Indiana Jones. Like, she's an adventurer type.
All right.
She's ready to go.
Okay.
They kiss like 3 times.
I'm sorry?
I Googled it.
Do they know each other?
No.
Wow. That's quick.
They thought they were going to die, and she's like, I just want to thank you.
Oh,
And
that's
kissed her.
fair.
And then they kissed 2 more times.
Wow.
And I Googled it, and she's not in another episode.
I mean,
I was scandalized.
I hate to say this about MacGyver, but perhaps his one character flaw is he likes to hit it and quit it.
Yeah, he was loose with the lips. Also, he's a big brother, and that's cool, and he seems to live in a planetarium. I don't know.
He's like a superhero.
But a kid.
Yeah. He's like a little boy's imaginary superhero best friend who doesn't have superpowers but is a good dad, but a dad who's your older brother.
Yeah. I worry about how much I'm going to uncover about, like, things from my cantankerous young boy phases, eras of life, that I'm like, oh, wait, that was all just MacGyver.
All of a sudden you realize that most of your memories are actually MacGyver episodes? Interesting.
I didn't blow up that lab.
You were secretly experimented on by the government to teach you about MacGyver, like
Yeah.
in The Matrix, but instead of like learning kung fu, you just know MacGyver storylines.
Yeah. There's also 4 points where I audibly said nope, but I love it still. It's
All
great.
right.
So what's your bright spot?
My bright spot, Dan, is that for the first time in a good long while, my beloved Cubs have won a postseason game.
Go Cubs, go.
They
Go
will
Cubs,
play
go.
today, this afternoon at 4 o'clock for the chance to make it to the National League Division Series.
Nice.
But for the time being, it's them versus the Padres.
Mm-hmm.
One game each.
The dads.
This is the rubber match, and I'm excited to watch it
Nice.
tonight.
I hope we'll be wrapped up in time for you to take that in.
Oh yeah, I will have a cold beer in my hand and chips like an old-fashioned man from the 1940s.
Nice.
I will connect with my ancestors.
We went to go see a movie earlier in the week.
Yes, we did.
And so we were down near Wrigley, and it was during one of the games, and there was counterterrorism on the L.
Yep.
And it was overwhelming.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of people around.
Yeah. Our city has been invaded.
Yep.
So, Jordan, today we have an episode to go over.
All right.
And without telling you too much about what we're going to be talking about, I wanted to give you a little out-of-context drop to whet your appetite.
If demons do exist, we ought to be heads up about it.
Got to be heads up. Heads up. Demons. Is he wrong?
I mean, no. I was just thinking, you can't plan for every disaster, but you can plan for some disasters. And if there are demons, I think we should plan for them.
Right.
Ah.
If we assume demons are real.
Right. Big assumption, but we got to assume it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Heads up.
The risk is too great. I mean, if they are real and we're not prepared for them, we're fucked.
Yeah, because they're tricky.
They're unstoppable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we will get into something about demons. But first, before we do that, let's take a little moment to say hello to some new wonks.
Ooh, it's a demon feast.
So first, thank you very much for feeding my bespoke woke mind virus. Thank you so much. You are now Policy Wonk.
I'm a policy wonk.
Thank you very much.
Beswoke.
Beswoke.
Next, from the Church of Dick Flackheel and the Latter-day Erections. Thank you so much. You're now Policy Wonk.
I'm a policy wonk.
Thank you very much.
Dick Flaccid, sorry.
Gotcha.
Next, Dan, this is Jordan from the future. You're a great friend and I love you. Ooh, thank you so much. You're now Policy Wonk.
I'm a policy wonk.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's good to know that in the future we're still friends, or I'm a weirdo.
Or it could be like in the very near future.
Or like maybe it's deeper into the future after all of this stuff has broken us up and torn us apart, and I was just like, I have one message on my deathbed to get back to Dan. Well, and here we are.
I'm glad you took the time, and it means a lot.
Of course.
So we also got a Technocrat in the mixer.
Ooh.
So thank you so much to I've got a small coffee company, outdoor coffee cult in Oregon called Hush Hush Coffee, and I wanted to send you guys some coffee and officially offer you a sponsorship for your roast segment in honor of Owen leaving. Hand biter. Thank you so much. You're now Technocrat.
I'm a policy wonk.
4 stars. Go home to your mother and tell her you're brilliant.
Someone sodomite sent me a bucket of poop.
Daddy Shark. Bum, 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 bum. Jar Jar Binks has a Caribbean black accent. He's a loser little kitty baby. I don't want to hate black people. I renounce Jesus Christ.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. It occurs to me that I may have forgotten to reply to that emo because I would like some of that coffee.
Hey, I don't need a sponsorship. If you want to send Jordan coffee,
he
drinks a lot of it.
Absolutely, I drink so much.
I will say that on our last Owen episode, I did intend to write a roast.
Right.
I did intend to, but I sat down and I started thinking of roast jokes.
Yeah.
And I realized I hate roast comedy.
It's the worst form of comedy I think possible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Clever ways of saying, this guy sucks.
You suck. Okay. The end.
So, Jordan.
Yeah.
There's no denying it. This show has been light on wackiness recently, and I think we've all felt the weight of its absence, especially as the world descends into like a real bad time. We need that. We need something.
Yeah.
So laying in bed for a few days, I had the thought. I was sick. Enough. Let's get wacky. So as soon as I got to feeling better, I got straight to this task, and I wasn't going to accept anything short of succeeding, and it didn't take me long to strike gold. On September 1st, Tucker Carlson released an interview with a former journalist named Lee Strobel, entitled, quote, Possessions, Miracles, Visions, and Encounters with Angels and Demons. And I said, say less.
Yeah, no.
I'm in.
You stop drilling. You have hit oil, my friend.
Yep. We all know Tucker was recently attacked by a demon.
He was recently attacked by a demon. This is finally him learning more about how to fight back.
Right.
This is great.
And an opportunity for him to open up.
Of course.
This is going to be
Tell
awesome.
us more. Yeah.
So, what do you think about demons? Yay or nay?
Traditionally against them, but maybe they're misunderstood. I feel like perhaps we've gotten trapped in a dogmatic idea of good versus evil, and maybe that has kept us from evolving as a species, and demons are a fundamental aspect of something that we need to address as something part of our insides.
I'll spoil this for you. Lee is opposed.
Opposed, okay. Well, then I'll go with that.
Yeah. So we start off here with Tucker giving a little bit of an intro, sans guest.
Okay.
So we're told there's no state religion in the West, certainly not in the United States, but in fact there is. It's scientism, it's the worship of science. It's the belief, and all of us learn this at a young age, that everything around us, everything we experience, can be measured by people in white coats. That's science. If it can't be measured, it's not real. The problem with this religion is that our life, our daily experience, contradicts it.
So a belief in science does not require a person to think that our current understanding of science is capable of explaining everything in the world. This is a semantic game that Tucker is playing where he's imposing on his opponents a position that they don't hold. Science can explain a lot, and it can explain a shitload more than it could 100 years ago. So anyone who's not a dipshit would understand that in 100 years, we'll be able to explain a lot more than we can now. Science doesn't purport to be able to explain everything, although most people who are into reality probably would concede that almost everything could be explained if we understood how everything worked.
Probably.
Science is about repeatability, for the most part. It's a process that takes ideas and tests them to see if they reach valid conclusions. What I mean is that science doesn't just say that antibiotics kill infections and therefore this must be so. Rigorous trials and repeated studies that tested antibiotics against infections arrived at that conclusion that they were effective in fighting them, so that's become science's position. If new, repeatable, credible information were to come to light that indicated that they didn't work that way, science would change with that new information. Science isn't a religion, and this formulation is actually Tucker hiding the ball about what his actual argument is, which we'll get to as we go along.
Sure.
As for the unexplained things that we experience in our day-to-day life, some of that can probably be explained by science you just don't understand. Other parts of it might be stuff that can't be explained by our current body of scientific knowledge, but will be explained by a new discovery that's just waiting to happen.
Sure.
Or it could be magic.
It's possible.
Yes.
It is possible that we could all be, in some sense, particles given mass by a Higgs field, and that, in a certain sense, we are just moving through jello up and down like a wave. Or, of course, could be God.
Could be magic.
Could be.
Any of these things are possible, and scientism is a cult.
That does make sense.
And all you need to know is that we're all having supernatural experiences all the fucking time.
That sounds true.
Constantly, all of us are seeing, hearing, tasting, feeling things that can't be measured by science, but it doesn't make them any less real. These are, by definition, supernatural. Supernatural experiences are a feature of everyone's life, and if we're honest, we'll admit that.
Tucker is saying that we're seeing, hearing, tasting, and feeling things that cannot be measured by science, which is strange because that's all of our senses except smell. Why aren't people smelling supernatural stuff?
Okay. All right. Okay. I'm gonna follow this train of thought.
Please.
If everyone experiences the supernatural, does it not then no longer deserve the term super?
Yeah, it's just natural.
It's just regular
in
natural.
a way that we don't understand.
Yeah, it's just natural. Or like not even that. If you're tasting something, then we can measure like how spicy it is, right? We
Sure,
have one of
there's
those
like
things.
capsaicin levels and
So
Scoville units.
Yeah, many of the things that you are seeing, tasting, feeling are in fact very measurable by your own senses.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tucker isn't talking about tasting a ghost or something here. This is actually just a reference to an idea in Lee Strobel's book where someone he's interviewing blows his mind by telling him that science can't describe the smell of coffee. Sensory experiences are tough to capture in words, largely because there's a disconnect between an experience and the awareness of the experience. Every person's reaction to a description of coffee relies on their subjective take on it, so putting that subjective description into more objective terms is difficult. But that doesn't mean that science can't explain why some things smell the way they do. This is fairly basic stuff. It's something that we use so effectively that most people probably don't even realize it.
Yeah.
For instance, natural gas is odorless, but it's also super dangerous.
Can we measure it with science?
Well, when companies produce it, they add an odorizer to the gas so people can detect a leak more easily.
Sure.
They can do that because the scientific method has uncovered various compounds that have certain smells. Your experience of smelling one of these odorizers may be different from mine, but the arrangement of atoms that create the stimulus that we describe differently is science. Anyway, the point is that we aren't constantly running around having supernatural experiences. If you want to add some importance to the unique experience of tasting a peach, and that importance improves your life, then I wish you the best with it. But that does not invalidate science, and you sound like an idiot.
I appreciate anybody who could write an entire book that I think his thesis boils down to explain example with your science.
Yes. It does. Except it's a little dumber.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately it comes down to like, well, I don't understand this. Prove that. Like, man, what are we doing here?
And I think that we're going to have a tough time because I'm going to be real mean to Lee Strobel throughout
for
this.
you.
But he seems like a pleasant man.
Right.
I don't know anything about him except this interview and, what I've read and his book and stuff. But, he seems like a happy person.
He's all right.
He also seems probably worse than Tucker in some ways, but politer.
I mean, I suppose you don't, if you write a book about how angels and demons are better than science, I don't think I can let you off the hook, even if you're a polite guy.
Wait to hear some of the shit he says.
I believe that. I believe that hard.
So here's the thing you need to know about Lee.
Okay.
Before Tucker brings him in.
Sure.
That is the most important thing is he likes to prove shit.
Right.
Because he's from journalism.
Oh my God.
Well, Lee Strobel was a reporter. He worked for the Chicago Tribune and left and became a pastor. So he has religious faith, but also a grounding in empiricism, the desire to prove things. He is the perfect person to write the book that he did about the supernatural. That would be dreams, mystical dreams, near-death experiences, miracles, ghosts. We sat down with him to hear just how common these experiences are and what they mean.
I hate to say it, but the theme's grown on me.
Really?
Tucker's theme song has grown on me.
That little twang, yeah. Well, it's fair.
So this is already what Tucker's saying is already a huge problem for him because he's trying to prove that Lee Strobel likes to live in the world of proven facts by saying that he worked for a major newspaper.
Right.
The mainstream media is supposed to be all spin and lies, so the fact that he worked for the Chicago Tribune should probably be a mark against him in Tucker's world.
Yeah.
I guess the media is only the enemy of the people when you need it to be. So Lee did work in journalism, but he hasn't since 1987. At that point, he became involved with megachurches and writing Christian apologetics texts designed to argue why it's not irrational to believe in various tenets of the religion.
There you go.
And I'm sure that most people know, but like apology in this case is not like it's not like I'm sorry.
No.
Argumentative. It's a defense of
physiognomy makes sense. Yeah.
I have no problem with him writing these kinds of texts, but it's deeply disingenuous to call him someone who's interested in empiricism. In a religious sense, Lee is an evangelist, and when religion and politics intersect, as they do with Tucker, he's acting as a propagandist. I don't care about a person working at a newspaper almost 40 years ago, so the presentation of Lee as a rational actor based on that piece of his resume, it's not going to sway me. We'll see how he makes his arguments and presents his information, and from there we can see if this is an honest empiricist who just has to admit that magic is real, or if he's a charlatan parading around in an empiricist costume, feeding into a religious hysteria that's going to be used to persecute a ton of people for no reason.
Sure.
We'll find out.
You know what I was just thinking?
It's the second one.
Here's what I'm doing, all right? I'm creating a farm system for these guys. This is my new plan. I hire raise a bunch of youth group kids to think, go become a journalist. And then in 8 years, you'll be the person I'm like, oh, come to the other side. And you'll be like, I worked in journalism for 8 years. And now I believe in the Lord. But actually, you did it the whole time. It was all a fucking ruse. And now you're brought up to the big game.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think this is a bad idea.
Well, I think that there is some kind of, like, what would Alex call that? Like sheep dipping?
Sure,
Sheep dipping someone in credibility?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it.
So Lee comes into the interview.
Okay.
And,
Lee Strobel. So you've written a book. I don't do a lot of book interviews, but I couldn't resist this one. Seeing the Supernatural, Investigating Angels, Demons, Mystical Dreams, Near-Death Encounters, and Other Mysteries of the Unseen World.
Right.
I think a lot of us sense or know on some level, in fact, I think everybody knows on some level, that there is a world that science can't measure or quantify.
Yeah.
That there is, that there's stuff that we can't explain.
Yeah.
But that it's no less real for our inability to explain it. So let's go through the list.
Yeah.
So the elephant in the room here is that Tucker has recently revealed that he was attacked by a demon in his sleep.
Mm-hmm.
He did an interview with an Orthodox documentarian about it, so it's not just a poorly kept secret or something that Alex has gossiped about without permission. Tucker's trying to insinuate that we all know that there are unseen things in the world that science can't explain, but doesn't seem to want to tell Lee about his own very real and very serious experience. Lee has written a book about encounters with angels and demons, so Tucker could be a very useful resource when he was writing this book, or now when he's promoting it.
Should have been consulted, right?
Tucker has so much evidence. Like, I'm sure he took pictures of the claw marks, and his wife can verify aspects of the story, so it seems like a perfect situation for him and Lee. Lee's the person most motivated to believe Tucker's story, and Tucker is the person who seems like he could provide Lee with solid evidence of a demon attack.
Chocolate and peanut butter, baby.
I'm sure that we're going to spend a lot of time nailing down the specifics, and You know, Tucker's testimony.
Feels very real.
It's not going to come up at all.
You don't think so?
It doesn't come up.
It would be interesting to see them disagree, though. That would be the joy. Is like
I don't think Lee would disagree with him.
As a professional former journalist who studies demons now, I can tell you that demon you are talking about was not real.
That claw is a dog size.
Yep.
You say your dog sleeps in the bed with you? Demons have much bigger claws.
It's like the guy in the who the Pope hires to be like, no, demons are real. But then he finds one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to talk about a guy like that later.
Yeah.
So Lee, he used to be an atheist.
Sure.
And he was trained in law.
You know, by the way, I was an atheist. I'm trained in journalism and law, and so I'm always looking for corroboration.
Yes.
I'm looking for evidence. I'm looking for facts. And so you're right. I think there's an intuitive sense that most people have that there's something beyond what we can see, touch, or put. 8 out of 10 Americans believe that.
So law is not a science. Law is it's a system of rules, which we like to imagine is based on empiricism, but it's actually more influenced by rhetoric. Lawyers make arguments and courts decide cases, which isn't the same as consistently reproducible reactions caused by introducing two chemicals into the same space. Journalism is also not a science. All of these things, law, journalism, and science, deal with the concept of truth differently. So Lee boosting his credentials in law and journalism doesn't mean he has any connection to the scientific method at all. But Lee does have a master's in law from Yale, which makes sense because his career is about arguing. It's not about proving, but instead about pretending that arguing is the same as proving. And that's why he had a role in God's Not Dead 2.
See, here's what's important. I was trained in law and journalism. Two things that everybody knows, like angels and demons, are the single most objective things that have been. Nobody's ever seen a subjective court or a subjective piece of journalism. Mm-hmm. That would be absurd.
Right.
Right? So because of this expertise, I can now tell you that angels and demons are real. And I went to Yale, so you know the things I believe are good for you.
I hold you in contempt. Couldn't think of another court term.
Judgment.
So, look, how do we know? How do we know things? How do we know anything?
How do we know things?
Right. And when you think about how do we know things?
How do we know things?
You start to realize that atheists are the fucking stupid ones.
How do we know? What is the evidence? And that's what I try to get into in the book. How can we be sure, through corroborated evidence, that indeed there are such things as miracles, as near-death experiences, as deathbed encounters, and mystical dreams and things like that?
Yeah, atheism is the leap of imagination.
It is. That's true.
It's hard to be an atheist.
It's very true.
Admire them in a way, though. I feel sorry for them. But anyway, okay. Angels.
Yeah.
Angels. I think that in life, it's important to respect what is knowable and what is not, and to respect people's right to experience the stuff that's not, however works best for them. As it stands now, there's not a reliable, reproducible, meaningful way to prove the existence of a personified God, so I think it's fair to count that as part of life that's unknowable for now. Maybe one day we'll create some kind of Geiger counter that can sense angel particles, and then we can talk a bit more about the empirical case for religion, but for now, that's dumb. That said, it's not necessarily dumb, in my opinion, to have faith and choose to believe what you want about unknowable things. In the absence of demonstrable proof that God exists, it makes total sense to choose to believe in an all-loving figure who created us for a reason.
Why not?
Exactly.
Are you busy?
If it helps someone get through the day and find meaning, then it's probably a good thing, generally. The only way that we can live in a balanced society is if we accept what is knowable, what is currently unknowable, and treat those things differently. And I think we've lost track of that a little bit.
Are you trying to say that there's something subjective about the Bible? I think you've missed the point.
Well, I think that there's a subjective and objective mix, and enjoy. Tucker feels the need to deride atheists because he needs to obscure from the fact that he and hardcore atheists suffer from the same fallacy, which is pretending that they can prove something that's impossible to prove. One side says they can prove God does exist, the other side says they can prove God doesn't, and neither can really accept that they're fundamentally operating from an arbitrary answer that they've come up to for an unanswerable question.
Sure.
And their answer is acceptable, it's just imposing it on everybody else is dumb.
Yeah. Yep.
So
that is kind of the problem.
Yeah.
It's a little bit like, if you think about what Jesus was saying about the hot or cold concept, if you're all the way in, right, you're going to treat people nice because you got to get into heaven. That's the most important thing that you could possibly do, right? But if you're all the way out, you got to treat people nice. This is all you've got. This is all you've got left. You're going to die. You're going to fucking die, and then there'll be nothing, so you got to treat people nice.
So that's what you thought the hot and cold was about?
It's all the stuff in the middle that's dumb.
But also, when something's in the middle, it doesn't burn your mouth or chip your tooth because it's frozen.
That's fine for all this stuff around here, but not for that guy upstairs.
That's fair enough.
Oh,
So I wanted to stress that and kind of like touch on this a little bit because I don't want to be like, fuck you.
Very, very cool. Very cool indeed. All right, I'm gonna take a little break. Maybe we'll stream some more stuff later on. But for now, this is fantastic. We got everything completed. Very awesome. Ooh, receive a bewitched black cat hanging cabin item. Nice. Very cool. All right. Exciting. All right, there, team. I'll catch up with you later.